Hello.
Yep.
All right, we are back.
Sorry, guys. I think Edren got into the booth. He was just pressing buttons. You know, he missed a few times.
I'll tell you, I much prefer that promo with the one they made us do, where it was just the human centipede, which was that was a lot less fun.
That one's not published.
Remember, guys,
yet.
though, no more tears.
No more tears. No more tears. All right, let's get ready.
No more cuttlefish. That one was.
NaVi and Fnatic.
Yeah.
Not only a nice rivalry here, even though they haven't played very much Counter-Strike Go, this is a historic, like, brand-to-brand
in terms of organizations,
yeah,
going back to
1.6 days, right? I mean, it was NaVi that owned for a while. It was Fnatic that owned for a while. So a lot of history there between, again, the parent companies, if you will. Initial thoughts on it. Again, waiting for the vetoes and all that, but initial thoughts on the matchup.
I actually think, considering we haven't seen this in offline play for quite a while, because interestingly, even though they're a lot of the same tournaments, they just never seem to end up on the same side of the bracket. It's actually usually someone like Envious who ends up playing NaVi more often. I actually think it has the potential to be a really fun matchup, because when I think of the maps historically they're strong on, Fnatic's one of the few teams who are willing to play NaVi on some of those maps. Like, I mean, Fnatic have been edging away from something like Mirage recently, but that's a homestay of the NaVi guys. Fnatic will play Dust too, so that I always love matchups where the teams are willing to both play each other's good maps, because then you tend to get the best Counter-Strike overall, because then it's like who can hit the highest level, not who is the sort of best on their fourth best map, you know, all these weird criteria that you get when you take out all the best maps.
For me, I think, you know, very different complexion of what this game should have been like when it was on paper. You know, you're looking at this, you're thinking, well, Fnatic are obviously superior to NaVi at the moment. You know, they are the #1 team. You're like, yeah, no problem. NaVi, very good on their day, but shouldn't have enough in the locker. Well, as it happens, Fnatic haven't really, you know, done a great deal, you know, to make you think, well, they're at their best. Not yesterday, anyway. Now, NaVi, on the other hand, they had some good performances. Then they dropped that map from nowhere, 16-11, on Overpass. You're like, well, you know, is this a good NaVi? Now, my prediction initially was that NaVi and Fnatic would be the ones that went through here, that it would be Nip that stumbled. Could it be Fnatic in their place? You know, and this is the game that's pretty much, ultimately, I would say, going to decide it. If NaVi can 2-0 Fnatic here, I think they're going to get through. I really do. But it's a tall order. It's a different day, and we're probably going to see a very different Fnatic playing today to what we did yesterday.
And let's talk a little about, you know, kind of JW versus Guardian.
Yep, I mean, that's a great matchup, obviously, especially because one of the strengths, a rare strength that JW has over nearly every other AWP he faces is raw firing speed. But no one in the world is faster than Guardian in terms of firing speed. This guy can get off any angle. He can do re-peaks, which is JW's speciality as well. And so historically, the way this matchup has gone in the past was when they would go head-to-head directly with AWPs, as in literally the same spot they're covering, the normal AWP picks, JW would usually, if he got picked a couple of times early, he would kind of like, it's like Guardian had asserted his dominance. You know, he was the top dog with the AWPer. JW would fall back a bit. He'd stop taking those angles because he doesn't like to be picked over and over. His style is he gets away with stuff and then he gets more confident and does the craziest stuff. So when that would happen, it would make him a bit shy. You know, he'd start just picking up a rifle. He'd play a bit more passively. He wouldn't be JW at that point in time. Now, Fnatic could still win. They had still have phenomenal players, but the JW we've seen over the last couple of months, he's been back to that like party piece style shots of crazy peeking, doing all the just JW things, you know. That's the sort of JW I want to see in this matchup, so we can see a real head-to-head battle. But Guardian at the moment is maybe in the prime of his career, actually. He's the guy who hasn't had problems since the AWP nerf. He's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if you get to see them play Dust 2 today, that's where you'll really see how incredible Guardian can be, because ever since they changed those double doors, so they used to be wooden and you could fire through them quite easily, even get kills. Now you can only leg shot people or half hit them if they go past the door and you hit. Most AWPers still do that because it's the safer shot. You can set up the trajectory, you can see roughly where it's jumping, you just adjust, and you're gonna, if you're a good player, you can get a very high hit rate. Guardian's one of those crazy guys who actually still aims through the gap, and normally if you aim through the gap, they have to literally go where in front of the crosshair, you're not gonna get the kill. They can still change totally. He could be aiming at the bottom of the gap, they can come at the top of here, and he can flick and shoot them. His firing speed and reactions are utterly nuts, so it's always fun to watch him on the AWP map. So I want to see this battle take place.
Yeah, and it's a very good time for it because JW is coming back into form. But to talk about Guardian, you know, all the plaudits Duncan's piled on him there, absolutely right. And this guy's got an amazing story for people that don't know the history. So he joined a team called Reason Gaming, which were the dominant force in Europe for a very brief period of time in CSS, what we called sort of the pre-French era, before Very Games and all those guys rocked up and basically dominated the rest of that competitive game. Now, he replaced an AWP called WT, who was considered one of the best. And when he came in, everybody was like, nah, this isn't going to work. Like, how do you replace WT? So Guardian comes in, and he had a little bit of 1.6 experience with what they call Necro Killers or something like that from the
Necro Razors.
Necro Razors,
like
that was it.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. He comes in, and he's absolutely killing it online. So then we're like, well, all right, let's see this kid get to LAN. Let's see this guy get to LAN. He goes to LAN, he absolutely obliterates everyone. All the best AWPers in the game, he's nailing them. He's pulling off shots like you haven't seen. He was beating Existence back when he was a flamboyant AWPer, your Rattlesnakes, guys like this, just wrecking them left, right, and center. So everyone becomes convinced he's got to be cheating. And there was a LAN cheat that was going around at the time called Vent.exe. Everyone was completely convinced he must be using it. This guy cannot be legit. Accusations dogged all of his career. And of course, the kind of shots he was making, the door bangs that you're talking about, the cheat wasn't compatible with that. He was legit. Yeah. And nobody gave him any of this credit. And he kept going and going and going. Literally the best AWPer that CSS probably has ever saw. Gets to CSGO. He hates the AWP in it. He was very vocal about it, how he couldn't stand it, how he didn't think it was, up to par with previous versions of the game. Yet, despite his very public complaints, he was the first guy to sit down and actually master how to use the AWP. And every time it's been nerfed, tweaked, changed, he sits down and he masters it again. And right now, for me, you're talking about Kenny S when he was on point, and you're talking about Guardian when he was on point. This guy has got an amazing career. Probably he's one of the best all-round AWPers from the CSS era onwards. To see him go up against JW, that's like a tantalizing prospect because he is amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and look at the Fnatic roster a little bit. Obviously, they're very well known to us in the Counter-Strike world. Why don't you just give us a little walkthrough of these guys?
Yeah. So on the left here, Pronax, best known previously as one of the best in-game leaders. Very good mind for the game, very good intuitive feel for how the game's going to play out. But he's taken a step back. They've been letting Flusher to his right do the in-game leading, so he's just playing more of a support role. But we have heard when they had a poor map the other day, maybe Pronax reasserted himself, so there's still a bit of a power struggle going on there. For Flusher, best known previously as one of the best clutch players in the world. Really good lurker, one of the most solid players in 2014, certainly. And most recently, taking over the in-game leading role, but he's also, bizarrely, actually started AWPing a lot more, and he's been having some quite explosive games overall. JW in the middle, as I kind of referenced before, JW brings the show, okay? He's like the flash up front. He's the razzle-dazzle. He's just got a crazy game where if it works, it's spectacular, but it can also completely potter out and not work at times. He's not the consistent player. You want to talk about consistency. Olofmeister is probably the best player in the world at the moment. He's good with every weapon. He's good in every type of situation. I don't even know really what you do against a player like that. It seems like he'll even play well in bad games for Fnatic. He's just phenomenal at the moment. He's very, very polished. And then the guy to his right, kind of his partner in crime, he's been with him ever since the LGB days, is Crims. Thought of as a support player, but interestingly, at the end of last year, even as a support player, playing those difficult roles, he actually was, for a very brief period of time, maybe a month, the best player in the world. He was very dominant, actually. He hasn't quite ever been at that level again, but he's still a very stable player. He's the guy who's just very fundamentally sound. He gives you the one kill around. It's that sort of a player.
Okay, and we're going to flip over to the NaVi roster in just a second. Just an update on the second match. It looks like Titan is 11-4 first side on that cobble. That's how they finished it, so pretty impressive. And then, again, let's take a look at the NaVi roster. And, again, we've talked a lot about Guardian, but when it pops up, why don't you kind of walk us through these guys as well, Thorin?
Yeah, sure. So starting on the left, here is one of the players who came from the 1.6 era of when NaVi were the great team, Zeus, considered one of the best in-game leaders of all time. He was a guy who actually, one of his specialties was, yes, he would study all the demos and he would try and find all the strategies, but he was supposedly very good at improvisation. He could come up with like a crazy strategy they'd never even tried before in a round, and it could work and win them a big round. Then we've got Seized here. He's a guy, he's actually a Russian player. NaVi used to be an all-Ukrainian lineup, but now they've got 2 Russian players, and obviously Guardians from where is it? Czech Republic or Serbia or something? Slovakia. Okay, one of the, obviously not Ukraine, so it's more of a mixed team now. Seized is a player who early on was considered like a top prospect. He has like quite good rifles sometimes, but he's a bit up and down. He's a bit inconsistent. So, but in this team, they've got so much skill in other areas. He's not required to carry every time in the game. Then you go to the middle, Guardian, as I mentioned, like one of the most flamboyant AWPers of all time. Funnily enough, as a personality, he's kind of like there's not a lot going on there.
Really
but his
introverted,
in-game style's wild. It's absolutely crazy, and he's just he brings the show. You know, that's why I like the JW matchup. Similar aspects in that sense. Edward over here, he's just a man unto himself, you know. It seems like in this team, he just plays the way he wants to play, and you have to play around Edward, okay? That was his problem in some of the other teams, like Astana Dragons. He plays his style, he does whatever he wants, does anything he wants, but he has some skills, and he obviously was a legendary 1.6 player, a very, very great player. And then the new guy is Flamey, another Russian player, had a brief spell in Hellraisers, was in that team, and since Richard was talking about how Guardian had like accusations of cheating previously, Flamey was the guy where when this DAT team first came up, and they're now known as Flipside basically, he was the guy everyone was saying, right, this guy has to be cheating, like, oh, you know, this online performance, how have I never heard of this guy? But no, it turns out he's legit. Now, in the actual game, he doesn't have those performances all the time. It's not like he's a godlike player. He's not quite at the level of, for example, a compatriot of his, similar sort of young talent. But the difference is that guy is doing that every single event, every single game. Flamey's more up and down, but when his game is on, it can be very explosive. I mean, his deagle particularly, he's one of the few players who uses the deagle and has crazy highlights with it. His rifles can be very precise. His aim can be very good, but I don't know if it's inexperience. I don't know if it's still adapting to the team, but he can be a bit up and down in his performance overall.
And just to add to that, I think Duncan maybe glossed a little bit overseas for me. I think he's been one of the real breakout stories lately in this NaVi team. I think he's come in, he's been super consistent, been fragging really well. His CT defensively, he locks down bomb sites very, very well when he's playing well. I think obviously Guardian, yeah, he's going to be a guy who will go for entry picks, flamboyant style we're talking about. I think you're absolutely on point about Flamey, but I think Seized has been really important in the evolution of this NaVi team. The tournament that they won recently as well, I think he was like statistically like the first or second best player for them, on kills and deaths. So he was dropping lots of bodies that particular event. So I think this is a guy to watch. This is a guy who's been coming up since he's joined the team, and definitely want to keep your eye on maybe a little bit of a dark horse that might go on under the radar.
Just to update, that match actually ended. Titan did beat Virtus Pro on Cobble, 16-4.
No, that's actually quite interesting, because Titan in general have been veering away from the new cobblestone, whereas the prevailing theory amongst the teams actually was that, okay, Fnatic apparently are the best on that map. That's why a lot of teams won't play them on it now. But supposedly Virtus Pro were the other team who'd put a lot of work in, and people were saying they're really scary on that map. So you would have actually expected from the map draw that should be a Virtus Pro win there. So maybe Titan have some resurgent form in this tournament.
Yeah, and again, they're both sitting on 3 points, but Titan has 2 matches under their belt, only the first one for Virtus. So, again, that second group is super tight. But back to this one, again, the players are just getting finished getting ready, as you guys can every so often see. The veto is going to come our way in just a few minutes. So one other thing, when was the last time, and again, I'm kind of putting you on the spot, you don't have a PC in front of you, but do you remember the last time these two actually met?
Let me think. I think it was quite a while ago. So I think it was actually back at a Star Ladder tournament. I think it was the Star Ladder that Fnatic won quite early on because offline they just really haven't met very often. They always somehow coincidentally get on the opposite side of the bracket. So I think they met at Star Ladder Season 10, I believe, which was the one where after the Fnatic lineup, this one had lost the ESL 1 Cologne final to NiP. They went to a Star Ladder right afterwards, and they won it, and they beat NaVi in the final. NaVi's always present at the Star Ladders, and it was a close series there to a degree, and I think NaVi maybe even took a map off them, and so that's the thing. They haven't played offline very often, actually. Somehow it's just one of those matchups that doesn't come up, you know.
And I know you made a point earlier about the potential of like seeing a lot of different maps, the crossover possibilities. Again, we don't have the video yet. What's your gut tell you we're going to see maps-wise?
Well, the real question for me is, are Fnatic willing to risk Mirage? Because since it hasn't been awesome for them recently, it's still good. Since it hasn't been awesome, the thing is, when they've been having success on it, they've been getting these great T-sides. So maybe they will gamble it, because that's a map that famously, even if you're a good Mirage team, because it's one of the, by far the best for NaVi, people don't usually risk it against them. So I'd like it if they did that. I think there's an outside chance they might pick that. The one I'm pretty certain they're going to play on is probably Dust 2. Like, I'm not sure that would be banned out. Now, I would assume if I was on Fnatic, I'd want to get it to stuff like Cash. Inferno's like NaVi will play that, so that's up in the air there. So those are the main 4, I expect. But hey, maybe NaVi wants to go crazy and they want to push to Overpass. I don't know. I think the most likely ones though are like Inferno, Dust 2. I think those have got a good chance of being the maps.
Yeah, I mean the spectre of Train is looming because that'll get eliminated straight away.
Here's a bold move.
And then I think probably you might want to think about eliminating Inferno. I don't know really, but yeah. I think Train's going to really skew this, and we could see some of the maps that Duncan's talking about.
So we do have the vetoes for map 1, so let's go take a peek at those. And again, Fnatic got rid of Train and Dust 2.
Yep.
NaVi gets rid of Cash and Cobblestone, and again, we end up with Fnatic picking
Now,
Mirage.
here's the crazy part here. Bear in mind, that means Fnatic could have picked Inferno. They had the option to pick what statistically is their best map. Now, admittedly, you can't always keep using that stat if they have changed up the in-game leader and they changed some aspect, because maybe the way they're going to play it's different. But they're choosing to go into what historically is the best map for NaVi and one of the maps that fits all the strengths of their players. So now I will say with that caveat that a lot of the history of NaVi on that map was pre-Flamey. So again, there's another little bit there. Like maybe they think NaVi's not as strong on it anymore. But okay, Fnatic's willing to go back to, they're moving it back to Mirage apparently. That's going to be a new home ground. So this potentially has a lot of fireworks here, especially because this is a map where, you're going to see JW, you're going to see Guardian taking turns on CT to be the guy constantly repeating that mid. It's going to be great to see.
Yeah. And then let's see if we've got map 2 ready. I imagine
from this ban here,
there we go.
Okay, NaVi does go for the bold pick of Overpass. Now the thing is, NaVi was actually picking Overpass at Face It and making sure that map was in the pool when they wanted to face TSM. Now they were willing to face TSM on it, and they had a lot of close games with them. So NaVi do play it. It's just that in itself is a risk, because remember, Fnatic had the crazy overtime game with NiP yesterday on Overpass where they had great CT rounds. They had the game against also fellow CIS team Hellraisers in the semi-final of DreamHack Tours where they 15-0'd the CT of Overpass. So actually both teams here could end up in a situation where it's possible they each could lose their pick and then be left with the question of like, well, why did you pick that map into this team? So I think it's interesting. I actually think overall, in terms of NaVi, they've gotten 2 good maps for themselves here.
Agreed, yeah.
But I actually think I'm still going to edge it to Fnatic, I think.
I was going to ask you predictions.
Both. I'm going to say 2-0 Fnatic for this.
I think this might get split. I think this might be 1-1. I think NaVi can take a map here. I'm not too sure which one it is. Fnatic really grinded out on Overpass against NiP and could have took it actually from NiP being in a comfortable position. We know they can play it. Mirage, both of these teams can play it. But yeah, I think NaVi can definitely take one of these maps.
All right, I'm just taking a quick peek at the secondary match on the Challenger stage that MLG is providing. There's still, it looks like halftime between the 2 maps. So again, folks, we have 2 streams going. So if you head out to MLG land, you will definitely see the second stream. We are about to fire this one up again. Game 1, map 1, Mirage pick by Fnatic. We'll see how it turns out for them. I think it's also interesting. Overpass is also, like you said, NaVi lost to Liquid on that yesterday. So very interesting, very, very interesting stuff. It's going to be probably rock solid Counter-Strike right now. But again, to bring you all the action, look at these 2 guys. Holy smokes. You can see, you'll see Henry G decided instead of unbuttoning, he's tied it up. So I can't get any more crazy.
His tie's actually made
I'm going to undo mine then, if that's how you're going to be. All right, Henry G on Fire Assembler. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right, thanks very much, Scoots.
Thank you for that.
So there we go. Apparently your tie is made of carpet, man. Don't they know a good herringbone when they see it? Come on.
Well,
Snoob's up there.
Here we go. Another great game for you and I to cast. We obviously finished off yesterday with that NiP versus Fnatic series, and we were casting quite late into the night, and we're back again for another great game here. I'm actually really excited for the map draw. Very interesting for me that Fnatic actually picked Mirage here. For me, that's NaVi's strongest map, I believe.
I'd agree with you. I think they stand a very good chance, and I'm kind of liking Richard going with a bit of the flip-flop there. Just not quite sure. It could be either one, because it really could be either one. NaVi are fantastic on Mirage, and they're equally solid on Overpass. And we saw that yesterday. Fnatic were, it was quite a battle versus NIP, and they ended up losing it versus NIP on that map in overtime.
We did see some flickers of greatness from them, especially on their CT side. You remember, like NIP were on match point for about 6 or 7 rounds, and they just clawed it back. You just saw how adaptive and dynamic they can be on that map, and it's going to be very difficult, I think, for NaVi to get back into that. If they start going down to NaVi, especially if to Fnatic, sorry, if they get the CT start and start getting that momentum built up like we know they can, it'll be very difficult for them. For me, this is going to a 1-1. I see NaVi taking Mirage, and then Fnatic drawing it out onto Overpass.
Wow. Okay, I might have gone out the other way.
Really?
Just to be contrary, right? Just say that.
Well, that's always fine.
Just because Mirage is also like NaVi's home turf. But then Overpass as well. They always seem to be so solid. Both of these maps really, it favors both teams almost. I think it's like dead 50-50 on both. They could go either way depending on which round goes well. And well, who remembers to buy a kit, right? Because that happened a lot yesterday as well. Wink, wink. Like,
especially in overtimes. That seemed to confuse a lot of people and getting used to buying kits. And let's hope that doesn't happen again. And like, as exciting as that play was, it was a little bit disappointing. I felt it did actually contribute to the final result a little bit.
Well, just to let Fnatic off the hook, Nip forgot to buy kits too, and that cost them rounds that could have won them the thing. I mean, that was just a completely crazy map last night, guys. If you need a good VOD to watch after all, this weekend once it's all done and over, and if you got some time you want to fill with some great CS, be sure to watch that series from between Fnatic and NIP that happened last night. It was one of the best ones so far we've seen. So now going into this map, though, let's talk a little bit about Mirage in particular. It just seems that both of these teams, for so long now, have just known how to play this map, just what to do in every situation.
Such a great match. It was so good to see map picks where we know both teams can be strong in it. We know it's not going to be a complete walkover for one of the teams. It could go either way. I think it's going to come down heavily to the pistols. We know what a fantastic pistol player Edward can be, and that slow, stifling play. Like I think the A executions NaVi have as well are almost legendary. They've got such a nice range of tactics, and they're so good at faking bomb sites as well. We know Guardian does that great smoke from T-spawn that goes all the way over to B and stuff like that. Like they're really drilled on this map. They've got so many tricks up their sleeve, and I think it is going to be a battle of the AWPs at the end of the day. I think whoever is controlling the map best on CT and like working the different positions every round and trying to force the terrorists into different positions is what it's going to come down to. We know both AWPs on the team, JW and Guardian, are amazing at that. So I really can't wait to cast this. I think it's going to be such a fantastic series.
Yeah, I'm glad that you bring that up. The fact that it is the AWPers, and they touched on that during the panel as well. The fact that Guardian plays such a huge role for both of these teams. The fact that they're able to Guardian in particular, when he's on his game, will completely lock down mid for NaVi. And mid being so crucial in Mirage, where it gives you space to be able to execute onto these bomb sites, where it allows you to actually go for split plays instead of having to focus on the extremities of the map. Yeah. If Guardian can get his teeth in there and just start laying in the pain, because we're talking about this as well, where it's not so much like he's not so much of a flashy player in the sense that he's not going to bum rush 3 guys with an AWP like JW will and win that duel.
It's the different schools of AWPing, right? So exactly. Guardian heavily relies on, he doesn't necessarily run around and go absolutely crazy facing all the angles you don't expect him to be at. He's just holding the turret, and you can just hit any shot wherever angle you're coming from. Doesn't matter if you outposition him, he's got the reactions and that flick capability just to find you wherever you are. So that's why he's one of my favorite AWPers. I think especially since the AWP update, for me, he's been the best AWPer the game has to offer, just in terms of just making it happen and making things work for him.
Yeah, that's the thing. When he is on point, it's like he can be holding one angle in particular. You can come at from a totally different one, and he will flick onto you and just obliterate you. So we'll be saying the last time that really off the top of my head I saw NaVi dominate on this map, it was in large part due to him being able to just completely lock down mid single-handedly nearly. And then you got to talk about the combo that comes in with Edward as well on short. Edward, I mean, that's practically his position. You could almost call it his you can name that position after him practically, because he's always on short. He's always holding down that position. He knows when to push aggressively. And right now we've got a bit of a duel going on in the knife to determine who's going to get started on which side. And there we go.
Yeah, NaVi should be taking CT here, which they do. Great stuff then. We know this is their strong map. They're going to want to post a very strong CT half here. I wouldn't be surprised against the double figures quite easily here, depending on pistol. I think they'll be looking to get around 11 rounds here just to kind of be happy with that half.
If they can get 11 rounds, I think they're going to be very happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd expect a 10-5, 9-6, because Fnatic also are very good on their T side of Mirage. I mean, for the longest time, they had that unstoppable B rush until they got figured out, and TSM were able to start shutting it down a little bit. Still, for a long while, Fnatic also have the strats on this map. They're very comfortable on the offense, so this is going to be still not easy work here for NaVi. And NaVi also a little shaky in this tournament. They've already lost a map as well, so it's not like both of these teams are having the perfect run through right now. They've both been bruised, they've both been battered, but now we get into it. NaVi starting on that CT side, as we can see. Fnatic holding at top mid with 3. Guardian could get severely punished here. He doesn't overextend, but as soon as he shows himself, JW, all of them just collapse and take him out. That's a big play there. The fact that he was up there all alone, there's nobody to return the kill.
No support for him whatsoever. A foolish play, perhaps. I know he's trying to get intel, but when you just get the intel and die straight away, it's kind of useless. And now having 4 players on the CT half and having to be split out like they are now, it's going to be very, very difficult to hold these T's off.
Oh, look at this. The timing there. Flamey catches JW trying to jump up into that corner, and that's going to be a great opening, bringing it back. We go into the 4-on-3, however, as Flusha manages to return. Flamey overextending his welcome. Stays in mid-window. Instead, now it's Edward who's going to rotate around here, and he's actually come all the way around. So we can see that NaVi is starting to get a little bit spread out here, but Seized is alive on short. but he's starting to get away from those B apartments. We have to see when Fnatic decide to rush through, and look at this call from NaVi. They've actually put 2 guys holding solid on this B site. Third one is already starting to rotate over as well. They've got the info, they've got the play, they've got the read. Everything here is set up for NaVi to just completely shut out Fnatic.
Very hard to hold though, no utilities with them. Edward picking up a lovely frag there. It's going to be a 3-on-2 situation now in favor of Fnatic.
And now this is now going to be the bomb plant here. NaVi not quite able to hit the shots, and now it's just a run and gun straight up with the Glocks. They're going to keep that pressure up. Krims hits the headshot on Zeus, and the last man alive is seized, working his way up short, but this is perfect now from Fnatic as well. He has 0 information. He spots 1, spots 2, and he dies. I mean, valiant effort on his part, but there was no way that Fnatic were going to lose that after plan.
No, well, I feel that all came down to that Guardian push. Like, normally a lot of teams do push middle, and it's definitely viable, but you need your teammates flashing you up, and then if you get into a difficult situation, you need your teammates in connector, making sure you can retreat successfully. Like, he was just in a 3-on-1 situation there. Okay, guys, they're up middle, but what help is that? Of course teams are going to go middle. That happens almost every single round. I don't really see what benefit he got from that, but you can see NaVi are going all in this one. They have picked up a shotgun, a scout here, CD's coming out, and on this map, when teams have to enter the bomb site in such a tight-knit choke points, it's going to be interesting to see that this is definitely a round that NaVi could get back into. Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, you can never count them out as well. For a while, they did struggle versus in the second rounds, to lock those down, but now they've made the adjustments. Look at this, Flamey peeks forward, hits that timing perfectly, catches Olafmeister in the back. JW gets shot as well by Guardian. Scout is still alive here, and there Seas takes the shot, gets the tag. Krims is going to be low, and Pronax just getting picked off. That took like 4 bullets, but Guardian got the job done eventually, and he gets a tag on the flusher there as well. Zeus with the P250 though, comes up behind, he manages to pick the one, and that sets it up. NaVi just completely collapsed on Fnatic. Nothing going right for the Swedes that round. Pretty sloppy play from Fnatic in my opinion. They didn't take any map control. They kind of overcommitted to middle before the round had even begun. They're getting down to that window area before it even got to the 1-minute mark, and like losing that early frag, like they were able to come out connector and just kill someone in the back of CZ. Like it just seemed really sloppy. Like, no, how is that happening when you're supposed to be holding anti-ecos, you're holding map control and just covering each other, going frag for frag, and there's no response for that. And they just got completely shut down once that first frag was made. Guardian peeked from window, managed to shut another one down, and it was just too much for them. And I feel they're going to feel a bit silly after that one. It might. I mean, that's just one of those cases, and sometimes you get that feeling on Mirage. Like Mirage is a special map. Yeah. Where once you start to lose control of T side, it just feels like anything you do it wrong, because you get shot in the back or the side. You have no idea. It can turn into a real nightmare. And now look at this number of nades going down into underpass. Molotov as well, and JW's getting shot from on high. Seized. Boosted all the way up. I mean, just like Kenny, he's like a vulture right now, just picking bones. You can see that NaVi just know how important this mid area is. They're just not letting Fnatic have a word in edgeways here. They can't even get a shot on a kill here. NaVi have barely lost any HP here. All covering each other, making sure every frag has got a teammate to back them up. Flusher able to pick them up there and just get shut down there. And this is the turnaround. I think NaVi will better string a few rounds together here. We should see an AWP come into play. Oh, potentially not. I think they'll probably stick to rifles for a bit while they build the economy up and get themselves into a comfortable position. Actually, that's not a bad call either, because Flamey's got the Galil. If he goes down, they can give him that AK. Basically, that AK can be moved around. Seized has one as well. This will be another round of eco out of Fnatic. So a proper read coming out from NaVi right now, making sure that they don't overextend, don't risk the AWP. And very passive hold as well for them. Basic, just very standard stuff. Man setting window. Then they've got the ones in connector. They got the one in short as well. So they can set up that triangle if they need it. And right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, although they do hear steps in underpass. So Edward is currently wondering, okay, is this going to be a Russian B? That's when you start seeing the jumps coming out there from Seized. I think now they haven't got this presence in mid, they just need to hold the bomb sites here, hold back. Maybe a little bit overextended there. That's awkward, yeah. Shots going out. Seized, though, managing to control that spray very well. Picks up another 2 kills. Shots coming from Guardian, and he drops that bomb carrier. It's going to come down to Krims now. 1v3 with the AK. Does not get the shot off. 2 kills for Guardian in the round. Seized as well there. And that's unfortunate for Edward. He just backs off of short, and then he's wondering, well, where was the info, guys? Yeah, well, how did we not spot them? Fnatic were unlucky to not get more out of that round. I think that the fact they got up short undetected, it could have been a lot more devastating for NaVi. They were lucky to pull that one back. But here we go. Guardian has now picked up the AWP, so has JW. This will be interesting to see how this round goes down. You can see the smoke going in the middle. It looks like they'll be setting up for quite a standard play, but JW is going to be working towards that house, looking for any picks he can towards the steps in the connector area. This is proper coming in from NaVi as well. They see that smoke, that short smoke, essentially.
It means that they want to try and see if they can't get any control of mid. If Fnatic are up there, they want to make sure that they can pick them off, or at least figure that out fairly quickly here. Crims is going to be backing JW, and 3 players currently up in Palace right now. Smoke goes down from the CT side, but they try to hit that timing, looking for the headshot. JW takes out Zeus, and there's only a man in CT. One in jungle as well, has rotated in, but he falls as, I mean, it's basically Fnatic. They hit the perfect timing to get onto this site, although Flamey somehow gets a kill, and Edward brings 2 back. So just like that, in the blink of an eye, the momentum shifts back and forth between these 2 teams, and NaVi have now managed to stabilize. That bomb is dropped alone on the A site right now. They need to find a way to get in there, but the triangle is closed in and seized with the flank. Misses the spray wholesale, doesn't get it done. Luckily for him, Edward and Flamey are there.
Yeah, that was good entry onto the bomb side there. JW picking up the first frag. For me, when they executed, they did smoke off some key choke points, but the fact they didn't smoke off CT spawn there just allowed the bomber to be left isolated on the bomb side, and it went straight down. And I feel like if you're going to go for a plant on A side, the CT spawn has to be locked off just to make sure that player can't do any damage there. And I feel like that was the key point there, why they didn't convert that round into a victory.
An uncharacteristic, essentially, mistakes being made here by Fnatic. NaVi doing a fantastic job when given the opportunity. And you're right, Edward. Don't doubt yourself. This time it is a be a push. And C's already in position. Very well played here by him. He does get overwhelmed by Flusha eventually, but then well, he basically got Edward and Guardian rotating back in. Somehow Edward is still alive in this situation. He's down to 5 HP. And he'll live through it. JW, the last man alive, gets shot in the side by Flamey, who rotated in through underpass. And it is going to be 5-1 now. NaVi off to a terrific start here. They've got the money as well to back them. So this is looking very good for them. When you don't have to worry about your economy on CT, that's when you can really start going for the crazy plays and just start throwing your weight around.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw NaVi here take some mid control, trying to get that early frags, just lock down the T execution straight away.
Well, Edward demonstrating some jump skills there. But it is going to be a full buy coming in here for Fnatic, and they're gathered up outside of the apartments right now. Once again with the short smoke to allow for some movement at top mid. That's going to be Olafmeister kind of looking around, seeing if he can't get a pick somewhere. Fnatic had also gone through underpass. But they're still just making their way around on this map. Problem is that once that smoke clears now, Edward, does he realize that somebody's crouching behind the boxes up there? Fnatic are about to shift their focus around. See if they can't pick somebody up over here. And this is going to be Edward still peeking on short. They've got that crossfire right now, NaVi, but they don't have anybody in windows. This is the one thing. But nice shot by Olaf. He gets that perfectly. Edward gets picked off, and that leaves 3 guys locked into the A site rather. Rotation begins for the B site. NaVi starting to see if they need to move somebody over there. Zeus waiting over in jungle, trying to make up his mind, and he's going to go through the murder hole and start working his way through. But Fnatic are 1 step ahead. 40 seconds left, and they have 2 smokes to work with here. A whole bunch of flashes, but only 2 smokes to go for an A site push. If they get 1 onto CT though, that would be magical because 2 guys are stuck over there right now. That would be fantastic. Lock 2 of them out.
Good to know they've got this lurker in terms of Olafmeister holding the short area here. He could be devastating on these rotations.
And Flamey right now, bit of an aggressive position for him. They don't check, and he nearly gets 2. Yes, he does! Deliver the 2 kills. No, that was Zeus. Still, the damage is done right now. 8 seconds left in this round. 2 on 2, and that bomb gets planted. Some damage being taken by Flusha. He's been pinned down on the site, and now JW holding in T-Pit. I was thinking for a second that he might try to run all the way around mid, but he's changing up his position, trying to get up in Palace to really establish this crossfire between these 2 players. Flusha waiting patiently in CT, and NaVi they figured out rather that JW was in pit, so they actually have to go and clear it, and now he gives away his position, but this is still so dangerous. Now he's just a constant threat. Flusha needed to win that duel, however, and this is now where it gets a bit difficult here for JW. He needed support from the man LCT, but it's all right. Goes for the no-scope and gets the save. Both kills for JW in the end. Those are the kinds of plays. That's the flashy play. That's the difference.
I always just thought then, like, there's no chance he can make this one. He's too stifled in the house. No one's going to give him the opportunity to get killed there. Now he comes with a no-scope. And to be fair, that round should have been tied up a lot easier. They had such a lovely crossfire there, one in Palace, one in CT Spawn. All they have to do is play off each other. But fantastic play from JW. We've seen him do that so many times this tournament. He really is firing on all cylinders right now.
He's madness, man. Just outright mad. And look at this. I mean, aggression coming out from NaVi in mid right now. They decide not to commit to the top, but they have put a smoke down in underpass. So that might slow things down here for Fnatic. We do have Olafmeister once again pinned down behind the boxes. NaVi, it seems like they're going to elect to leave him there, although Zeus is inching his way forward right now. And I believe Guardian is rotating into window to try and get eyes there with the AWP. Pronax rotates in and hits that perfect timing to take out Zeus. And now Guardian ultra passive angle right near, just looking to the top, and there it is. Pronax commits, but that buys time. Crims gets into the perfect position to get the refrag.
Really nice crossfire there. The fact he actually got that refrag, perfect execution, and that's going to pretty much secure this round for Fnatic. To be very difficult to hold them off now.
Especially they have a single smoke and a Molotov and a man less now as well. Seized gets caught by Olofmeister, who's just incredibly patient. Like, Olofmeister sits there for a minute, doesn't move, and then right when you think, okay, I can maybe peek to get info here, maybe spot something,
yeah.
Olofmeister's like,
if
nope.
you've given him an inch, he'll take a mile. Like those one bullets he's getting around mid-area, that's absolutely crazy. And I think Edward's really feeling it. He got a one bulleted last round, and he's kind of been a bit rattled, I think, not showing so much presence there.
Well, I mean, 5-2 right now, and this is going to be an issue for NaVi. I think this is, I mean, the play for them basically is, okay, well, we'll take a look in Palace and Pit, but
yeah, they have
really, we need to save our guns. Exactly. We have to hold on to it. They have kit, Kevlar, guns. This is too much value to throw away, especially when now they're starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel as far as the money is concerned.
We saw NaVi go for that aggressive mid push again. Again, one player going up, no real backup from their teammates, no flashbangs coming in, no player watching his back. It's questionable push. Like, it's when you've got the teammates there backing you up, and it's a perfect tactical run. You can catch teams by surprise when it's just one guy and you lose that one-on-one duel. Like, it almost looks like it was a free kill you've given away.
It really does, exactly. And it's like, if you do it early on in the round as well, the info isn't that valuable because they still have like 40 seconds to rotate anywhere on the map. So,
absolutely.
You know, you die somewhat in vain. So Zeus might be feeling a little bit frustrated with that, but it doesn't look like NaVi are in danger of losing these guns. They will be able to hold them for the next round here. So the score is now 5-3. Fnatic slowly but surely climbing back into this, and this is what you always have to be afraid of when facing Fnatic on any map. When you're on your CT side, Fnatic, but in particular Mirage, their T side is excellent. They are always a threat. It doesn't matter if NaVi go 10-0. If NaVi let off just for a second, Fnatic can get right back in the game.
Yeah, very patient play for them. They're overcommitting at the start of the rounds and making sure they make their shots. And Olofmeister, for me, is making some fantastic hits. He's proving why he is the #1 player in the world right now.
Yeah. And that is true power right there. JW, though, not going to hit that shot. He gets peeked out there by Seized, who's going to fall back and take an appropriate position. Smoke goes down to block off JW as well. And in true JW fashion, he goes onto the side of the smoke and picks off Seized. Incredible. He's really on point right now. Edward holding up close. However, are they going to spot him? Yes, they will. They fall on him practically. Olofmeister there to get the kill. Zeus comes back and brings one back to NaVi, but JW is there to return on him instantly. And once again, before they can even have an impact in the round, Flamey and Guardian, they're hightailing it out of there.
Yeah,
like as far away as possible.
It's so cool to see that, like, most teams when they go for a B execution, right, they do so many like high level smokes and like flashbangs all over the top. Fnatic just rely. They know they've got the skill and the talent. They like JW can just walk in there and he'll find somewhere. He'll find some way of getting a kill there and opens up the round completely. And they didn't even have to do anything after that. They just made their way in 1-3 situation, got themselves the bomb down straight away. And it's going to be another save situation for NaVi right now. And you can see them. They're hiding so deeply now in the Palace and towards T-spawn. They really do need to save that AWP is going to be so valuable next round. If they can do something a little bit more dynamic next round, I think they need to start moving Guardian around, getting him in different positions. Maybe he needs to go face in B halls and like get that first pick and stop them having so much freedom there. They're just jump peeking it right now, and it's not really doing that much for them. This
is what I spoke about, though, in the sense that NaVi, they really like to have Guardian in mid.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm glad that you're mentioning, you know, start to change things up here. See if you can't shift Guardian around onto the other sides of the map. I'd like to see him go Palace, actually.
Yeah.
Because you always see Fnatic, you know, they tend to send somebody up there. If Guardian can get into that angle fast, then that could completely shut or catch Fnatic off guard, perhaps. Instead, it's going to be a bit of a quasi-buy coming out here for NaVi. They held on to the AWP, they held on to the M4, but the rest of them, NaVi, that's 3 guys saving. Doesn't matter, though. Zeus is still going to be able to pick up Pronax, and Flamey, after that pop flash, gets the job done, picks off Crims. Bomb is dropped there as well, but Flush are currently trying to clear out Shadow, giving him some space to work with. Olofmeister working his way up. Cat looking for the kills. He's going to get 1, 2, and maybe a 3rd. Yes, he does. And just clicking away. If he doesn't run out of bullets, he probably got the quad there.
Going to be very frustrating for NaVi there. They got the first 2 frags. It looked like Fnatic came into that site a little bit sloppy, but Olofmeister coming in for that lurk connector and just absolutely cleaning up there, and he just looks phenomenal right now. Very clever plays, not necessarily the craziest frags there, but like just the fact he just secured that round by himself was phenomenal stuff, and that's going to not affect NaVi too badly. They have been able to get the full buy again. Guardian is back on the AWP, and let's see where he is right now. He's opting to go towards that A-bomb side.
He's actually, yeah, now he's looking into pit, I believe, but the smoke goes down, and now he's changed it up. Looking towards underpass right now, and we'll see if Fnatic are going to get the read here. Smoke at the top, so this isn't going to give Guardian much room to work with, and he's going to try and change up his position. Counter boost could go in, however, and JW. Does Guardian pick up on this? Oh, this is going to be excellent. When the smoke clears, JW's already here. He gets spotted, though. Guardian not going to win the duel. JW.
Frustrating for him, I think. The fact he hit him and he knew he was there. Like, the repeat was questionable. Once you're an enemy like JW, you've seen you do that.
No, great positioning here by Seized. However, he's going to be able to catch one guy off guard. He drops the bomb carrier as well. Brings this back to a 2-on-2. Long-range shot here by Flame. He manages to pick up Crimson Connector. And it's going to be the man himself, Olofmeister now. 1v2, both of his opponents tagged up, but it's not going to matter. Seized has that AWP to work with and just lands that shot directly. 3 kills for him, 2 for Flamey. And now, right when it got tied up at 5-5, Navi once again pull ahead.
Yeah, great awareness from the B players there. They could see the mid players having some trouble there. Pushed in, got some map control, and actually managed to find the bomb. And that was the deciding frag of the round. Like, it was phenomenal reaction play from them.
And especially Seized going up leaves Flamey always lonesome. And well, wouldn't have been pretty. It looks like they want to go for the mid push once again here. Edward, no, backing off. So they elect to change things up. They don't commit. And while Fnatic this time have taken control of short very quickly here, they do have some angles to work with, and they could even go for the jump into mid if they want to, but instead, that's going to be Crims working his way up into Connector. Manages to return the frag and take out Zeus. Guardian did take out JW, however, I believe that was up in Palace, so we're into a 4-on-4 now, and still Fnatic with a minute left, trying to figure out where exactly they want to take this fight. Olofmeister with the lurk takes out Edward from ladder room, but Guardian is there to return, and we're still into a 3-on-3 here. Crims very low on HP, however.
Yeah, terrorists always have the advantage in this sort of situation. When you have a 3-on-3, the T's have the complete control. The CTs have to be very spread out and kind of formulate where they need to go to. So, yeah, it's going to be a difficult hold for NaVi. I think it's going to come down to Gardner's positioning there. We can see him just holding the mid area. He's got a kind of inkling. It might be a B push here, but he's got the wrong idea completely. It's going to be...
both of them. Look, Seized and Guardian both over here on the B site.
It's going to all be down on Flamey here. What can he pull out the bag?
And he's got a bit of a cheeky position here, actually. He could actually be in a pretty decent spot to pick up one. He could get a second one as well. He nearly drops Pronax there. Pop Flash comes through. He turns away, drops the bomb carrier, and so far single-handedly holding off this push. Flusha steps in, finally avenges his fallen mates, but it's not going to be good enough. Seized, that's bought enough time for him to rotate in and save the day. Navi, they bring it back to 7-5 now, and like 10-5 all of a sudden seems pretty realistic because Fnatic, they don't quite have the money. I mean, JW, this is almost like just a straight up, yeah, he's just like, okay, I had 7,000, yeah, whatever, I'll buy an op because I'm still going to have 2,000 after this.
The way he's playing, definitely viable. If he can find this first pick at the beginning of the round, which he knows he has to do, he knows what Guardian's going to be, it's going to come down to this play right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and there you go. Bait and Guardian, does he read it? JW misses the follow-up shot, and that is unfortunate. Pronax, that was pure bait and switch right there.
You see that reaction shot from Guardian as well. That's what we're talking about. When he's get those flick shots, you can give him the pixel to take and he'll rip your head off.
He's far too quick, man. One of the fastest players in CS, no doubt. Flamey is going to find Flusha now. That was over in T-Pit, so the rest of Fnatic kind of just stuck over here in mid. They've got that bomb rotating back out of T-Spawn now. It's actually looking like it's going to head towards A site. Sees, though, on the hunt for info, and he may very well walk into this crossfire. Crims takes out Edward. That's enough for Seized, but then JW is there. Delpan, definitely not expecting that, Navi. And somehow we find ourselves in a force buy with a single op. I'm sure that op just caught, like, Seized is like, what? Yep. Where did that come from? I mean, Guardian spotted it earlier, but still. Yeah, why do they have a random op?
Lack of discipline there from Seized, I think. Like, when you know they're on eco, just make them come to the bomb sites at least. Make them work for it. Don't come out in the open looking for frags. I think that I understand he's trying to get intel, but that could have been the round thrown away with that one situation right there.
Oh, and Guardian on scopes, and JW gets the leg shot. Oh, Guardian misses, but now Guardian's changed up his position. That's going to be enough. Catches JW trying to go for the shoulder peek, and this is all about JW trying to bait, because guess what? Olofmeister's playing to go on this A site, and that was enough to pull Flamey out of position. He gets the shot through, of course, and Olofmeister not long for this world, but that was very clever play there as well. JW's just like, we're going to go B, guys, and Olofmeister, he hits the perfect timing.
Yeah, good, clever play there. Nice recovery from NaVi. I think that the fact that Fnatic got the bomb down is very important because their economy was looking a little bit weak after that buy with the AWP. The extra $800 is going to help them out, and they should be able to get a nice full buy here.
And that was smart there as well. Now they have a dual op setup here. Curious to see who's going to grab it. Yeah, Edward could play it from short if he wants to.
That will work really nicely for these last 2 remaining rounds. This will be a perfect call for them. Kind of set the turrets up. They can probably be a little bit more aggressive here and start controlling the picks at the start of the round.
Fnatic, I think, should be aware of this, though, because they should have seen Guardian dropping his AWP to Flamey before Flamey, and even then, you know, Flamey delaying the defuse for no reason. I mean, the reason is usually go pick up a gun, and there you go. That's what it's all about right there. JW not going to hit that shot. He gets the leg shot onto Edward, so again with the leg. And this time around, it's Guardian getting dropped down to 14 HP. Guardian down to 14, Edward to 16. NaVi just very narrowly, avoiding disaster, essentially. If they lost both of those players, Fnatic would be at 9-6 pretty much. Now instead, Edward changed up his position, back of bench, basically, as far back on the B side as he can get. And there's Olofmeister once again lurking his way up into ladder room, finds that entry frag, takes out Guardian. Edward, however, takes out Flusha. Edward right now hitting all the shots. They have to worry about him having changed up his position as well. And he's going to be able to just get overwhelmed there. Olofmeister with the quick peek around the corner shuts him down. Zeus is being held back now with Pronax, or rather with Crims, who's waiting in connector, and the bomb has now been planted on this B site. But you're right, it is going to be Seized, working his way through the apartments. He's trying to find that angle. Flamey takes out Crims, so no more lurk to worry about. Man on short gets cleaned up as well, and it's down to Olofmeister. 1v3, alive in kitchen, waiting for the rotator that's never going to come. Nobody is here for you, Olof. You're going to have to do this the hard way. You're going to have to clear out this site.
But what a man to do it.
And he's got first one, looks for the second, gets that too, and then gets the read perfectly. Flamey's there and lives at 42 HP, but Olaf was dead on with his read in that situation. And, oh, there's not enough time for the defuse.
So huge. Olofmeister there, just showing his pedigree and why he is #1 right now. That was an absolutely huge round to win for them. The difference between like a 9-6 and a 10-5 is absolutely huge. Even if they don't hit this last round, that was for me one of the plays of the map so far. That was an incredible play from him, and looked like a moment where Fnatic were completely out of the round after that. Those couple of frags there, but yeah, great stuff from him, and he's having a fantastic game.
And look at the effect that this has now. We can actually end this 8-7 for Fnatic. Seeing as how NaVi are completely wrecked with the money. Zeus is currently lurking here in shadow, just hoping to see if somebody's going to pass him. Flusha is not going to hit his shot versus Guardian, and there you go. Zeus springs his trap, takes Pronax's head off, and Seized is still here. We've somehow turned this into a 1v2, so perhaps I just cursed them, because it certainly has not gone their way this time. Fnatic underestimating NaVi somewhat. Crims, I mean, this is still a winnable situation for him, but Seized just picked up an AK. Famas over on Edward, and there you go. Seized just comes jumping out of nowhere right on top of Crims. Perfect save there, essentially. Yep. That would have been catastrophic for NaVi if it went 8-7. Now at least they have a little bit of a cushion to play with.
Yeah, that was a full-on Hail Mary play from Fnatic. I think that they obviously assumed it'd be a forced buy and they'd be weak with no grenades, but they just got shut down by the crossfires of the PT-50s. And it proved too much for them. I think they're going to be disappointed with that last round. The fact they could have got a nice 7 rounds there on the T side would have been great. But we know how strong they can be on CT as well. They're no strangers to Mirage whatsoever. This pistol round's going to be very important.
And two smokes picked up here for Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus and Guardian both. And Guardian over in A, but the one is over here in Underpass. I'm curious where he's going to try and set this up, Zeus. As far as Fnatic are concerned, though, near full Kevlar, Crims actually went for an HE instead of a smoke. They didn't decide to go for anything else. Seized, made it to the raid boss, looking for the fight. Edward is going to have a Tech 9 as well. This is double Kevlar, double Tech 9. This is crazy. These NaVi players now, they're going to be able to just wreak havoc, and they're going to close in on this A site. It's going to be a 3-pronged assault, and Zeus starts off the play. He gets JW, and they manage to catch out Crims alive on Electric. Shot from Seized, and they're just getting picked off one at a time. Olofmeister doing the best he can to return it with the help of Pronax, but it's still a 2-on-3 retake scenario here. If Olofmeister could get his hands somehow on a Tech 9, he could turn the tide here. Pronax wins versus Seized. That's one Tech 9 down. Last 2 members here alive, and Olofmeister just casually clicks away Guardian. Flamey alive in Palace, though, and this is going to be it. Olofmeister needs to win the fight fast, and he's not going to do it. Flamey will clutch the play, and he's got that 10th round on the board for NaVi.
That was a really nice clinical A pincer from NaVi there. The fact they got the mid control quite early on and managed to do that really nice smoke. That was a really great smoke for them onto short. It's locked out any vision for Fnatic on the bomb site. Came down to a 1-on-1 in the end, but the fact he managed to draw it out is going to be really, really beneficial to their T campaign here. Great start for them. They really want to close out these next 2 rounds just to give them a get them into a nice position. But we can see, well, as we know, Fnatic are deadly on these kind of rounds. Scouts coming out here, and then NaVi needs to be very careful indeed.
You can see them gathering the info there, running back across. Man on short is going to just touch down that HE straight onto Edward. Unfortunately for Fnatic, Flamey finds Crims, so they do manage to stabilize, bring it back. Flusha gets caught as well, and NaVi now just spinning out of control here. Seized comes leaping out of the apartments, picks up the first man, and he spots the man in kitchen as well. Olofmeister trying to go for the trick shots, but narrowly dodging that nade. He will get hunted down by the bullets eventually, but he does manage to tag out Flamey.
Yeah, C's is jumping out of the B apartments there completely alone. Went for it, managed to pick up 2 frags and secured the round for them. So nice work from him. Let's get a force Fnatic onto the full eco here. Should be a nice position for NaVi now. 12-6 will be a great start. And then we know how great they are, like the A executions. They've got so many tactics up their sleeve. They're great at getting the map control, reading where the CTs are, and executing properly on the site. They're one of the best teams at like placing their smokes precisely where they need to, getting the plants down, and then they've got a great post-plant mentality as well.
And then it's like smokes, you say? No, we're going to go for some of the scrimmy play. No need to use the smokes when they've only got P2Ks, right? There is a 5-7 on Pronax, and he is not going to be able to put it to use. JW instead will pick up the kill onto Seized. So it's not going to be a perfect round here for NaVi, and it's not done yet. Pronax now having rotated over. If he catches this man in jungle, he can do the damage. Takes the fight and wins it. Somehow Guardian just fluffing the spray, and what a shot from Pronax onto Flamey. Literally pre-fire. Edward going to be able to clean it up there for NaVi, but that was far too scary. And from what was an excellent round for NaVi, keeping 4 players, they lose 3 in the end. Pronax single-handedly turning it around for his team.
Yeah, expensive in the end for NaVi. Didn't want to lose that many guns, especially when you're on the T side, but they have got the full buy here. The AWP has come out, and we can see that rings true as well for JW. This is the classic battle we've been talking about this whole game. JW versus Guardian. It's going to define these rounds and who's going to come out on top here.
And that is Edward actually getting tagged down. He gets spotted, goes leaping back to safety. And Crim's not able to pick up that kill either. Instead, it's going to be NaVi now starting to work their way through underpass. They've still kept that man at top mid. Edward is there, so he'll start peeking around there when he needs to. Nice nade timing there. They do manage to narrowly avoid that NaVi. This is now steps being heard here, and they should be able to pick up on this Fnatic, that the fact that this is now a real risk. Guardian going to do to JW what JW did to him. Boost into window, pick up JW, and there you go. Double entry frag now for NaVi. They've got a massive advantage in this round. It really is looking very good for them here.
Yeah, frags needed from Fnatic ASAP. They don't want to lose this round and be forced into another eco. This game's going to slip away from them.
Oh, and C spotted the elbow there. Nearly gets the kill onto Pronax, who darts back in time. Flusha, he heard your call. Finds Zeus lurking in connector. That's going to be the initial kill, but NaVi currently gathered up 3 players on this A site. Bomb is here as well, and Crims, he's now swapped it up. He's got that AWP. Is he actually going to be able to lock them out? There's only a single smoke here, and it's on Guardian.
This is the best move he could have done. Picking up the AWP and being able to hold this side down by himself while the other guys look after B. This is the best chance they've got of getting back into this round.
And there's the smoke going down on CT. Another flash goes through, but the shot is there. Crims drops the bomb carrier. Flusha takes advantage of their focus on Crims to peek through this smoke. Perfect play and timing from Flusha, and he nearly gets the wall bang down onto Seized as well. Seized, 4 seconds left. At this point, you just need to run. You need to hide, but Crims, that is textbook stuff right there. And Flusha as well. As soon as they focus on Crims, Flusha goes for the push through. The timing is almost as if they're mind melded.
After those first 2 initial frags, it was a round we knew Fnatic had to win. They'd be in a horrible situation if they had dropped that one. The fact, I just loved it when Crims picked up that AWP. I just knew he was going to do work of it. Just making 1 kill was all he needed to do. He got it. The guys were able to rotate. Clock was running down. And it was absolutely just perfect play from them. And they're going to be very happy with that round. It's going to rattle NaVi a little bit, and they're going to be forced with no AWP here. And as long as Fnatic keep long range here and just playing the game they have been doing so far, they should be able to string a couple of rounds together here. They should take this one, considering the inventory on the terrorist side, and then they should be able to get some momentum built up and get themselves back into this half.
And NaVi's still able to afford quite a bit of gear. 12-7 the score now, and JW will find Flamey. That was up in Palace as well, so they lose their lurker here, NaVi. One of the man on the wings. They still have C's working on B apartments, with the other 3 kind of the kill squad here taking over mid. And somehow Edward is going to find Flusha. Not sure if he looked through the smoke there, but that was perfection, and he catches Pronax as well. Just like that, the B side is wide open. At least JW finds Zeus. That's in mid, so they don't have to worry about the lurk. But 3-on-3 retake scenario, you know that NaVi right now, they just wish that this bomb was here faster. They needed to get that bomb down. Olafmeister finds Seized, and it's just down to Guardian now. This roller coaster of emotions right now for both of these teams. Fnatic managed to bring it back.
They seem to do this every time we cast them. Looks like they're out of the round. Somehow get back into it, and Crims finishes off down with the Guardian. I don't know how they do it every time. Like, you see NaVi getting those first 2 entry frags. We didn't see how that went down, but the fact he could actually Fnatic find a way to claw themselves back into the round when they need it most and actually force NaVi onto an eco now. Phenomenal stuff from them, and they're going to be very happy with that round. And see an almost full eco coming in here from NaVi. Got a couple of Tech 9s there, but they're not going to be able to do much of it. Edward, sorry, actually picking up armor as well. Interesting decision from him. Whether that's going to pay off, I'm not so sure.
You almost expect him to lead now, or at least be the second man through. Instead, he did go mid to try and take a bit of a peek there, see if he could get some information. Nothing too much going for it, however. And now I mean, once again, NaVi, they by the book. This time around, it's Zeus up in Palace, not Flamey, but they are taking over mid once again. And the man on short here, let's see, sees this could be very effective. He's got that Tech 9 up close, trying to rush him down, and he's actually going to catch JW completely exposed. Seas now has an AWP to work with, but he's losing teammates left and right. Crims gets 2 very quick kills, and it's going to be Zeus getting caught up by Olafmeister, holding from CT. Seized will take out Flusha, though, but it's that 1-on-3. And now they know exactly where he is.
Yep, it looked like Fnatic were about to peak there, and I like they had the discipline to fall back. And like a lot of teams this tournament haven't been doing that. They've been overfacing and making these situations very difficult for themselves. Fnatic are a team that know how deadly this all can be. They're going to run the time down as much as possible, then hunt him. If you're going to kill him, that's the time to do it. Make sure he gets no money the next round. Make him work to stay alive here.
The man holding in connector as well would have heard that jump there by Seized. You saw the reaction. Now you've got him working in ladder room. This is going to come down to whether Seized can actually peek around here into connector. How thorough is he? Well, that's that heart attack moment where the guy actually steps out just as you scope.
Yeah, great discipline for Fnatic there. And I think this is going to be a successful campaign for them. Seized, you can see he's kind of contemplated picking up the AWP. He has done. He's going to take no armor this round. He's dropping the AWP for Guardian.
Wow. And
the utility isn't great on NaVi here. They have got smokes, but in anything else, they haven't got many flashbangs to play with. It'll be interesting to see how this round goes down. We know how good their A executions are.
Time for the fake, it looks like, perhaps. Yeah. I mean, they've got Seized locked and loaded with the smoke that could go onto that site. Yeah. I mean, what is the play here basically for NaVi? They're drawing attention to the site, so that's going to open up, I mean, basically try and keep one of the players who's focusing on mid for Fnatic. They want Crims to be eyes on A, looking towards Palace, looking towards Pit, seeing if anybody's going to be pushing up from NaVi, perhaps weakening the defense here in mid. I mean, it does allow NaVi to get a line with that AWP onto connector.
With no presence to follow up those smokes, that fake's not really going to be sold, in my opinion. Like, they've just wasted the 2 smokes they had, and now they're going to be in a very difficult situation to actually make their way into a bomb site. And if they do, they've got nothing to hold the bomb with. So this would be an almost certain round for Fnatic, in my opinion. Should be.
They have 2 flashes left on NaVi. It's all down to the straight brute force now. This is going to turn into a brawl. Flash there, but now they know that Pronax is waiting up here in ladder room. And JW up in B apartments with that AWP. Flash comes through. Pronax just spraying blind. He doesn't see a damn thing. And Flusha now wondering, are they going to try and peek through? Is this going to try and open up for the A site? But NaVi still focused on the B site with 30 seconds left. Standard NaVi. Might as well be a lifetime for them. Seized is in the lurk. He's actually keeping both of these players over on the A site. He gets caught by Olafmeister, but the damage is done. The rotation time going to be so long here. JW has to hit the shots of his lifetime. He gets that CZ, but it's just not fast enough. Zeus is going to rush him down, and it's going to be down to Crims, Olafmeister, and Flusha. Flusha there, and with 8 seconds left, do they get this bomb plant? Can he deny it? That's the only question at this point. 4 seconds left, and no matter what happens now, it's impossible for NaVi to win. Incredible. The time. And this is NaVi for you. They always leave it until there's just no time left. One mistake, one thing goes wrong, and that can happen. They just won't be able to put the bomb down safely.
Yeah, they were quite fortunate to kill JW on short there. He managed to time it to perfection, walking around the corner as he wasn't facing. So like, I feel like that kill was slightly lucky, but the fact that Fnatic played that so nicely, they were on the back foot and just kept drawing the time down, forcing them to plant. It was made a very horrible situation when you're on the side of an AWP trying to no-scope people. We can see NaVi here onto the full eco, and all of a sudden this doesn't look so comfortable for NaVi. You can see them actually struggling a little bit. The economy's dwindling away. They're on the weaker side of the map, and Fnatic are looking very strong right now. They're winning all the rounds they should be, and like all the clutches seem to be going in their favor.
Yeah, this is where it gets very scary indeed. You're absolutely right. 12-10 the score right now. NaVi still in the lead by 2, but we should see Fnatic picking up an 11th round. Pronax so confident.
This is gonna be big.
He's gone for an MP9.
This is going to be huge.
Let's see, Pronax, you going to hit that timing? Are they going to check right? NaVi about to come crashing out of these B apartments, and Pronax about as close as he can get. Flusha draws the attention, and there you go! The mow down! Oh, quad kill.
Perfect.
No, he only gets 3. Flusha, you robber.
As soon as I saw him in that position, like, you just knew that was game over for them. And he's going to get himself a lovely bankroll from that. And this is going to be difficult now. You can see that NaVi are now getting forced to buy up Galil's there. They have got full nades here, so I'd like to see them go more to their set pieces. I've seen how strong they can be. I'd rather them be running those right now as a picking game, although they are making the frags, they're just leaving it too long and not actually getting into the bomb size.
Well, here we go. This is also Fnatic, except that they sent 2 guys to top mid. Edward will win the fight versus Flusha, but there's a second man there. Crims decides not to press the issue. Guardian only living with 4 HP. He was clearly taking the brunt of the fight there because Zeus is the one who actually got picked off, but that was an underpass. Return to a 4-on-4 scenario, and JW is going to be able to fall back through connector. But quite a bit of damage has been done to NaVi. And once again, NaVi, look at the gear that they have. I mean, unless they can get shots like that, that's the one way for them to actually succeed here, because they literally have 2 smokes and 2 flashes to get onto a bomb site with. Interesting play there as well, peeking into mid, basically trying to get the info. Guardian, though, too quick with 4 HP. He is just so low. You sneeze on him and he's gone. But this is big. Look at this. NaVi, they've managed to lurk seized out onto this B site. He's clearing it right now. The rotation is coming in with that bomb, and Fnatic nowhere to be found. This is going to be a very difficult situation for Fnatic when it comes time to retake. They're expecting an A play. Pronex is pushed all the way up to top mid. He doesn't see anybody, and then it becomes a guessing game. Did they go left or did they go right?
This is a questionable setup for Fnatic. I don't know why they've gone all in onto the A bomb side there, and with a man down especially. And this is almost a safe situation for them. I wouldn't even want to get involved in this. It would be such a difficult retake.
Yeah, because now basically NaVi have had time to set up.
Absolutely. Get the turret set up. Make sure they have really advantageous positions.
Oh, the timing does it that way, though. However, Pronex, I mean, if they can get these kills fast enough here, Fnatic, they still have a shot. But there's Edward striking in. Great flash there to open things up for Crims, and he's going to be able to pick up 2 quick kills. Nearly gets the 3rd as well. And every single time, this time around, Flamey, you don't have to defuse the bomb. Getting the kill was enough. Yeah, valiant effort from Fnatic there. They really went for it, but in my opinion, the bomb was ticking away. They were way too far away to pick up 4 frags there. So they had the bankroll to play with. If they lose this round, they might be forced onto an eco. So this is a very important one indeed. NaVi will be ever closer to match point if they would take this one. 13-11 is the score now, with NaVi once again establishing a lead. And look at the passive play from all of them. I mean, Fnatic also going for what was NaVi's bread and butter. Just a single man in window, a single man on cat, 1 in connector, but none of them really pushing out into mid, being aggressive. Edward is prepared for that this time once again. And he just narrowly dodges that nade there, Zeus, but there's the smoke into connector. Fnatic not going to be able to get much information safely. And now they really have to be wondering, is it a short push? Are they moving up there? JW peeks into window, gets the kill on top of mid. That's Edward gone. And that's also a lot of information gain. Now Pronex setting up with the nades, trying to stop this rush. And he doesn't spot the man on the balcony. The flashes are clearing up. Pronex is literally going to get dropped on, but that's fine by him. Gets the kill point blank. And NaVi somehow, they're down to 2 members alive here. They're actually having to run for it. Guardian just getting his feet toasted.
Yeah, NaVi forced 1 by 1 into that B area there. Kind of made a pretty lackluster push into B, I'm afraid. But they are going to be able to save these weapons. Hopefully, they have to try and do this for at least 30 seconds. Fnatic might be on the hunt here. They want to ruin the economy and get themselves back into it. We know how fragile their bankroll is as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this one out.
If they can catch anybody right now, Flamey comes down to timing, and he turns away just as Flusha peeks on short. So perfect timing there for Flusha. Guardian, the last man alive, as we expect, but great air control from him. He actually managed to back off and live through this. Olafmeister just going to get hunted down there by Guardian. But there's a second man here around the corner, and Guardian expects the flanks. Instead, it's Crims right in front of you. And NaVi, they've elected to go for their pause. So the score, 13-12. And NaVi now realizing, okay, we're actually in the danger zone here. We actually do need to lock this down. I'm so glad to see that they're one of those teams as well who will just take that pause that's allotted to them, that's allowed. One time per map, they can pause for a few minutes.
Well, after winning that last round and losing this one, their economy is reset to $1,400. And once Fnatic get it to 13-13, NaVi have just lost that advantage they've had this entire series. Like, NaVi have been the more dominant side, and now for the first time, looks like it's going to be drawn out here for Fnatic. And what NaVi can do is they're going to have to full eco this one. I don't even think they could really justify buying any more pistols. Like on Mirage, if you're going to do an eco round, you need to have some sort of utility just to smoke off some of the choke points. You don't get completely decimated by AWPs and all the different angles the CTs can hold. But yeah, for me, like, Guardian needs to pick up the AWP, hold angles for the team, and they need to do a formulated take. We haven't seen them do it at all yet.
Exactly. We haven't seen a single smoke round onto A or B. No executes really. No, there's been nothing but pick play.
Yeah. And
what's crazy is that this is NaVi trying to. It seems like they're in an evolutionary period here, because their style for the longest time was based off either picks from Guardian or executed smoke rounds onto a site with 20 seconds left, everybody knowing exactly which angle to hold, and they would just hit their shots and go. Get that bomb plant with 10 seconds left. But we haven't seen a single round like that for NaVi. The one thing is, though, if we're sitting here thinking about it, Pronex is like, Yeah.
Exactly. But with this pause coming in, you know they're going to have change their approach to the map. And Pronax, like whenever anyone takes these big pauses, you know they're discussing what's going wrong. How can we change this? Someone's going to have the bright idea of why don't we try running one of our set pieces? And like Fnatic are all too aware of that. They're going to be set up for this. They're going to be doing the runs. They're probably going to do an aggressive mid round or go pushing into pit and trying to lock down that execute before it can even happen.
Well, Zeus is waving his hands around pretty energetically right now. He's got that talk going. Fnatic seem like they're pretty well collected on their side as well. And one thing to note here. One thing to note here is that Fnatic, we could actually see them. Yeah, so it is the timeout. They're just confirming it. But Fnatic, we could actually see them set up for like the anti-smokes just to be safe.
Yeah.
And that means, having Crims, having Olofmeister try and hold up close, one in Shadow, perhaps one in Sandwich, and get within the smoke perimeter if NaVi elect to go for it. That's not going to be this round because it is, like you said, round of eco coming out here from NaVi. So that's going to reset them. So we should have just a pretty clear-cut round coming up now in the 26th. But in the next one, if it is a buy from NaVi,
I'm calling it now. Next round, Fnatic will go pretty aggressive and try and shut down the set piece that is going to be predicted.
Let's see. Well, single smoke, single flash, and now the rush comes through. Perfect timing there behind that flash, and they're going to be able to actually get out onto this side. Olofmeister doing the best that he can, and Crims flush, everybody rotating in. But this is a success for NaVi. Perfect execution for them. They put that smoke down in the middle of the site. They don't even care about like just cutting up lines. It's all about getting that bomb plant. And look at this, Edward, he's just like, not going to give you the satisfaction. Not going to give you the $300. You know what?
All they wanted was the bomb down there. They did it with one smoke, and that shows you how easily they can get that bomb down. That's going to say to them, okay, guys, we've got the bomb down with Glock, so what can we do with the actual post plan once we get it down with AKs?
And now they have a lot of the money as well here, so it should be full AKs. No AWP for Guardian, unfortunately, for him. But they still managed to get the smokes, the flashes. There we go. So now they have some options here, NaVi. And we'll have to see what they elect to go for. Right now, we have quite a few. Once again, moving to top mid. Bomb making its way up into apartments, but that could be into underpass. And Flamey currently setting up for the window smoke, so that's going to go flying out. So they want to try and, basically block Flusha out of here. He sees that smoke coming through. They know somebody's over in T-spawn. And once again, JW tag sees down to 16. Was that through the edge of the wall? Does that look like it was hitting torso there?
Yeah, must have just clipped him through the side of the wall there.
Once again, Zeus. I mean, this is NaVi really haven't changed up too much after all of this. And it's still take over mid. Still plenty of time, though. A minute left. They really want to find that pick. And it's going to be Edward taking the battle once again on short, trying to force his way up there. He is going to manage to get into ladder room. Flash goes out to try and, well, basically wrap around that corner if they need to. But Flush has changed up his position, coming back into CPL. And you already see, well, a very forward hold there by Olofmeister, up by Shadow. With 40 seconds left, however, NaVi are gathering up in B apartments. They still have some smokes to use, but this is going to be very touch and go for them. Edward is going to be in full lurk mode right now, just trying to hold off and see if he can't catch a rotator out. And there's the pop flash. JW, point blank, stopping them in the smoke. They have no idea what's going on. What is this? Flamey, and then JW through the smoke, gets another one. He's not going to get the third, but the damage is done. Pronax will return, take out Edward, and it's Zeus walking his way up short into a hail of bullets. Pronax is there, and with 14 seconds left, Seized is actually going to have to back off and hold on to his gun. What a turnaround, and what was that with JW and Flamey? I mean, they're literally walking into each other.
Yeah, like after that timeout, NaVi looked more lost than ever. They smoked off middle, looked for anything, and Fnatic just weren't giving them any pixels to look at whatsoever. And JW managed to get that advantageous position up in the B corridors there, smoked it off, and with the time ticking away, and NaVi had no choice but to go through it, and he saw them hugging each other for about 5 seconds there before he actually executed and managed to pick up a couple of frags.
I love it that it's like JW, he's actually, why didn't I get out to the other side of the smoke yet? And then Flamey's probably wondering the same thing. But what's also, I mean, it's just Fnatic really. They dominate mid, but without showing anything. But they also had Olofmeister pushing up close to pit, so they're gathering info on the A side as well. They realized nobody was there. I mean, right now, that was definitely a bit underwhelming after a pause from NaVi. We did not see that change we were expecting at all. And now, to try and keep Fnatic off of map point, they're going for the Tech-9 Force Spy. Now they've got some nades to work with. They have the 4 Molotovs, so they could carpet bomb a site. But they don't really have the firepower.
they're looking to win this round. With the utility they've bought, they wanted to get the bomb down, and they want to just close this one out. They know they've got the bomb down with the Glocks. It looks like it's to be one of their textbook kind of A executes here. Don't know why they haven't tried this for the AKs yet. They're now trying to execute it with the Tech 9s, but let's see how this pans out for them.
Yeah, we're going to have it set up now. And we don't exactly have the counters to these as well. Crim's holding up on stairs. This should get smoked off. There's a man holding in CT as well. It's going to be Olafmeister. There we go. Smoke wall. Perfect smoke wall. Goes down. They're trying to find an angle to work through that smoke. Flamey and Seized taking massive damage. And JW will find the angle to take out Seized. He gets burned to death, however, somehow. And now a 4-on-4 scenario. Fnatic still trying to battle, but Fnatic don't need to force. They don't need to force the issue. Shots going through from Olafmeister trying to deny that plant, but they really can't play this carefully here. They can hold passive. The bomb gets planted, but that shouldn't be the end of the world for Fnatic. Just make sure that they don't lose everybody to Tech 9s rushing around. Olafmeister is there. Flamey does get a kill on the site. He takes out Flusha, but then the last man rotates through on CT. Pronax finds that kill fairly easily there. Fnatic, I was getting a little worried there for a second because it did look like they were getting pretty hungry, like they wanted to step through that smoke and try and take battle straight up. Versus Tech 9s, though, when they're practically on top of you, I mean, that can be a lethal mistake.
Yeah, well, they were quite patient there. They didn't commit and run through the smokes. They waited for the smokes to dwindle away and waited for the opportunity. Olafmeister on the steps there, managing to pick up a very important frag onto the bomb site. And then this moved in and just pinched the side together. And it was a nice retake from them. And that could be the end of the game. We can see NaVi have got a buy, but it's a very lackluster one. Like the utility they have on board is not going to be enough to do a full execute. They're going to have to go back to the mentality of working the picks, but with no AWP in hand, I just don't see that happening. JW is just too on point right now.
The fact that Guardian doesn't have his AWP once again. Edward is usually there. Crims with that's just sprayed through the smoke. And Zeus, unfortunately for him, does not hit that timing correctly. Olafmeister manages to drop the safety just in time. As we say that, though, Seized and Guardian finding kills, but JW, what a shot onto Zeus. That was crazy. Now it's down to Flamey and Guardian, last two members alive here in a 2-on-3 situation. Fnatic on map point, and Flusha finds the kill that pretty much locks it down. Guardian, can he work his magic? He gets the first headshot, takes out JW. He knows there's a second man on short, and he gets the read properly here, spots that man out in CT as well. 53 seconds left, however, so he does have some time for shenanigans.
Yeah, we saw Fnatic just have an absolute playground there. Like, without the smokes to lock off the choke points, you're never getting into the A bomb side properly. Fair play to NaVi, they did pick up a couple of frags, but this is a very difficult situation now. And there it is. Flusha will take down Guardian, and Fnatic will take the first map 16-13.
A super effective play, basically, from Fnatic at the end, managing, and, well, I think the big thing really, is just NaVi not really changing anything at all when they went to after that timeout. You expected some kind of smoke around or an execute onto some portion of the map, but it really was once again them trying to take over mid, trying to focus on mid, looking for the pick, and it's just the same thing all over again. Fnatic didn't give them anything to work with.
Yeah, so like I said, after that timeout, they looked more lost than ever. They were just doing more of the same. And the rounds they were actually getting the bomb down were on their ecos. When they actually smoked up bomb sites and stuff, like, as long as you can gain map control at the start of the round and then go into your set pieces, that's absolutely fine. Like, people are scared to actually like introduce them to the round because it's like quite frowned upon these days. It's more based around picking play and like adopting that nip mentality. But when you're getting the bomb down with Glocks and stuff, it's time to say, like, okay, if we can do that with the eco rounds, let's do it with the rifles. And I think that would have been a round that they could have pulled off quite easily.
And one thing that I was trying to mention as well during that, and never really got the chance, is more of a, both of these teams are just excellent. It used to be a staple for them to actually just let people have the A bomb site because they were so confident, just not even overconfident. They were just so good at retaking that site. They would allow the smokes to go up. They would let you get that bomb plant. And then from there on out, they just choke you out. And that's exactly what we saw once that Tech 9 play came in with the smokes. Yeah. Sure, you get the bomb plant. Great for you.
Yeah, but that's here's it. The post-plant game is going to be absolutely zero. Yeah. Like, when you've got the Fnatic coming to you with silence M4s and everything like that, you're just going to have no chance. And I feel like NaVi are going to be slightly frustrated with that one. And going into the second map is Overpass. We know how strong Fnatic can be on that. Although they lost the nip yesterday, we saw a stellar CT side for them in the first half of the game. Exactly.
That's the thing. And now Fnatic, they're going to be able to adjust a little bit. Nip versus, I mean, it's the same thing. When it's just the compatriot fight. I mean, they know each other so well. There's so much history between those players. Versus NaVi, shouldn't be a problem. But guys, before we get into that second map and the analysts, we're going to take a short break. So we'll be back in just 5 minutes time. Don't go anywhere. Scoots and the lads will be breaking it down for you in just a moment.
I'm on it.
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 All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gfinity here, live from London, England.
Here we are.
There we go. I got to do Scoots' job now, too. So, we're back. We just finished a fantastic map on Mirage, very close thing. Down to the wire, and Fnatic win it. Now we go into Overpass, where, honestly, we can expect more of the same.
Absolutely. It's going to be a long, drawn-out affair, very close. We know both teams are strong on this map. We saw Fnatic play this yesterday, so we know what to expect from them. I haven't actually casted NaVi on Overpass before, so could you give us some insight to how they actually approach it?
This is why I think this is another 50-50 case, because NaVi can also play a very strong T side. They love the executes. Like this map also plays very strongly towards the executes. And so I'm hoping that we don't see more of this kind of like pick style out of NaVi, because to me, this has always been a team of like, yes, okay, we can go for the picks because we have the likes of Guardian, and they've relied heavily on him in the past to open up opportunities for them with that AWP. So if they get that strong start on T side or CT side, they get him that op, he can start holding these angles, he can start taking these fights and winning them. But NaVi, their true strength has always been, we're going to know exactly where we're putting all of our smokes, Molotovs, flashes, everything onto a site. We're going to go with 20 seconds left, and we're going to completely wipe out the defense. And Overpass is a map where you can really see a lot of that. B site, you have all of these executes that can come onto that site, and Fnatic are going to have to scramble to hold on. And the A site now, since it's been changed up, a lot easier to get that to get that bomb plant down.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more teams favour that A site now. Now it's been opened up a lot more. The Orpas have a lot more freedom down long A. They can actually get quite close to the bomb site before even getting to any confrontation at all. And I think this is going to be interesting. We saw Fnatic with their CT yesterday, so aggressive, like getting so much map control at the start of the game. We see JW's working those sewers area. He can go there by himself and get 1 or 2 frags pretty much every time. Like he's just so fearless there, and that's what I love about his play style. We say it's like quite random and quite frantic, but the fact is like he does deliver. Like pretty much every round he can cause chaos down there. And again, Flusher on the B bomb side, we saw him yesterday. Like some people would say the P90 is a questionable buy in that situation, but he just makes it work so well. Like on the rotations especially, he goes through the sewers area and he can kind of just pick up frags, and like yesterday locking down Get Right pretty much every time on the rotates.
Get Right exactly was rendered just completely useless on that map. Like he was going for the lurk, but it got to the point where we were saying, well, he kind of needs to group up with the rest of his team because this lurk is just not working for him. Flusher just continuously wins these duels. I think it was like 2-3 rounds in a row where it's just like Flusher finds the kill, Flusher finds the kill.
Absolutely.
What do you do if you're an IP at that point? What do you do if you're Get Right? So we should be going into the knife round now to determine who gets to start on which side. But frankly, when it comes to both of these teams, it's kind of like Dust Show. I don't think it's going to matter a huge amount as to who gets to start where, because both of them are capable of just running it back no matter the score.
Yeah, well, we saw NaVi start CT in that last map, and we thought that would be a great position for them. They closed it out at 9-6, which turned out to not be enough for them. Like Fnatic just clawed their way back in. They were just winning every single clutch situation when the odds were against them. For me, the standout round was that 3-on-1 from Olofmeister when he had the bomb down on B, 3 people against him, managed to get a huge spray down, and it was just, I think it was such sensational play from him, like just timed to perfection. The fact that he couldn't defuse the bomb, he just delayed them just long enough. It was great stuff from him. But here we go. It looks like
NaVi should be starting on CT.
So they get the stronger side again. So this is in their favour essentially. But like you said, it could go either way. And I'd be interested to see what approach they apply for this pistol round. Whether they be going for that mid control, pushing the T's back and making them work to get map control back off the CTs. I assume that's what they will be doing. It seems to be the staple play for all CT sides these days.
And look at this, 9 Kevlars basically total. And they've made Olofmeister into the raid boss with the Tech 9 and Kevlar, so that's expected there. But NaVi, they're going for the straight fight. They want to get in here very quickly. They have control of Connector now. Guardian holding this angle. Olofmeister has essentially been locked off from the rest of his team, caught in this corner. He needs to wait on his teammates to try and create some space for him here, because there's no moving. He heard those steps. He knows that somebody's in here with him. Seized, getting caught, however, and there you go, the initial frag. Pronax weakening the defense, but then Olofmeister steps out and instantly gets shot in the face. 2 players here as well, but Guardian and Edward both drop, and it's going to be down to Flamey and Zeus now in a 2-on-4 scenario. This has gone perfectly for Fnatic. They get the perfect read on the situation.
Yeah, when going for the full armor, it's always going to be difficult to kind of retake those positions. If you've got no flashbangs to retreat from or any smoke to drop on the choke points, it's going to be very hard unless you make that initial kill. And now Fnatic should tie this round up pretty easily. Like 4-on-2 situation, no kits in hand on CTs. Like if they pull this one off, it's going to be something phenomenal.
And Flamey just not managing to get that kill. He drops JW so low, but JW with that Tech 9 that he managed to recover from Olofmeister, he's going to be able to clean it up. And they're going to get a free bomb plant here on the B site, Fnatic. It comes down to the last man here. Zeus tries to wrap around a sniper, and he could potentially get a headshot here, but it's Pronax who's going to find it instead. And there we go. A very clean round for Fnatic to start off this map, and that is, after the loss on this last map for NaVi. That is definitely not how they wanted to start things off here.
Yeah, very clinical play from them. They knew that NaVi would go for that aggressive play style, and they just kind of waited them out. And then they swarmed them with the Glock train into sewers, taking down 2 players there, and they completely locked them down, and they lost middle control. And when you've got USPs and armor left in a 4-on-2 situation, it's going to be almost impossible to make anything come of that. But now we can see Fnatic taking map control. They're not going all in anywhere. They're just trying to work out where the CTs are, just holding positions and seeing what they can get from them.
Nice work there by Zeus. He is going to put some pressure onto Flusha. Timing doesn't work out for him. However, it does work very well there for Edward. Point blank on a JW, and he trades 1 for 1. That's all right. That's good enough here.
Yeah, good return frag as well from Fnatic. They're not letting the CTs get a frag without having to pay for it.
And at this point now, Fnatic are going to slow down their pace, it looks like. They did get control of mid. NaVi now taking a very passive approach on the A side, at least. Here on the B side, they're still pressuring a little bit in Soar. So in case somebody's going in through connector, they would run into a bit of a tough fight. And now it looks like they are going to get into connector. The timing here works out fantastically for Olofmeister. He doesn't spot the first man pass tower. So if played appropriately here, Zeus, he potentially could catch off Olofmeister.
Yes, Fnatic are playing this very patiently. They're working the kills. They're taking areas together, making sure they're not going to drop any frags here. And this is great from them. They've got time to play with, although it is dwindling a little bit away now. They need to decide where they're going. It looks like they are going to opt towards that B-bomb. So I know Olofmeister secures the round with that frag onto Zeus, and that should be all she wrote for this one.
Essentially, that was it. Zeus needed to get something done there. And he was hearing the steps as well. You could see he was starting to get wired tight a little bit, trying to get in there, but instead it's going to be Seized and Guardian both surviving here. Last 2 players alive for NaVi, and they're going to make a good attempt at trying to hold on to their gear. And this shouldn't be a problem for them, seeing as how Fnatic are all the way on the other side of the map, down on B site with that bomb plant. So it should be very early on here, 2-0 for Fnatic. And NaVi just trying to, they actually find a MAC-10 to work with. So that MAC-10 that was dropped earlier.
Yeah, and the fact he's got armor as well, be a very good idea to try and save that. They've got the scout as well. They can make that work for them. Anything can happen on this map, especially at the long range. If Fnatic go for a face down long and Guardian's there with a scout, anything could really go down. So yeah, in their best interest to save this, absolutely.
And then Fnatic not going to drop any guns here, at least they shouldn't. The bomb is going to go up. And a very uneventful post-plant situation here for both teams, essentially just holding angles, and they will save. So now we go into the 3rd round. This should be a hard eco for the rest of the team. Edward has 2,200, so he could invest in a P250, but instead he gets dropped the CZ from Seized. Wise play there.
Yeah.
That's very nicely done. Make sure that Edward is also very good with the CZ, so it's a good weapon for him to have. Flamey, I think he messed up the jump there because he just took a lot of fall damage. Unless he got shanked by a teammate. That makes a bit more sense because that is a lot of damage to take from that fall if you're trying to drop down to A, or rather to B. And unfortunately for Guardian, that is not going to be a successful lurk for him. He gets boosted up there only to take a bullet to the face. Edward waiting behind the barrels though, holding up close. Are they going to be able to give him a target? Yes, they will, but he gets the kill just barely. Runs out of bullets, however, and he's going to get completely overwhelmed. A single kill, and once again, it's going on to JW, so he might be a little miffed about that. And if he goes for the AWP here, he's not going to have any money for nades, so that's going to be the call.
Yeah, it was a great read by Crims there, just predicting that boost coming in, completely ripped Guardian's head off there. And here we go, the first gun round coming in. You said no AWP for NaVi, and whether that's going to be a wise idea for them, I'm not sure. They're definitely going to have to get map control here if they're going to want to lock down this setup. We've got JW picking up the AWP. He's going to be looking down for some kills here on the monster tunnels. I'm
so surprised that they go for 3 helmets on NaVi as well. That could very well be 3 smoke nades, an HE, or a kit.
I agree.
I mean, we don't have a single kit picked up for NaVi. They're so light on nades. They have a single smoke on Edward at this point. I mean, Fnatic now, if they can just peek around on this map, they can actually get some space. But Zeus is going to somehow get picked off there by, or rather, other way around. JW gets picked off by Zeus. But that was over in the main B entrance, so that's it's a bit interesting there. Probably just some spray through on the pillar, or rather through the pipes. Shouldn't be an effective pop flash, but there's going to be a Molotov, and that's going to be effective. Zeus might have to be forced out, or he's standing right on the edge here. Zeus kind of dancing around. They're trying to get rid of him. Olofmeister not going to be successful. Instead, Edward, lurking in mid, takes out Pronax, who was working his way through restroom. Somehow, Fnatic have been pared down to 3 members here. And the remaining 3 closing in on this B site, but Zeus is still holding close in sword. He's going to have support. There we go. The kill coming in from Zeus. He's looking for the follow-up onto connector. Olofmeister just completely ineffective in this position. He needs to find this shot already. Incredible how long Zeus has delayed things. Finally, Olofmeister gets rid of him, but the damage is already done.
Great positional play there from Zeus to manage to slow the T's down, manage to pick up a couple of frags as well. And when you've got that little utility and you don't even have the kits, you need to bring the game to the terrorists. So you need to go on the offensive and become the team that's dominating the map. And they managed to pick up a frag onto JW, very important. Obviously, he had the AWP. And that's got them straight back into this now. They should be able to build some momentum. The economy now back on their side, full utility in hand. Still lacking the head armor, but obviously against the AKs, it's not too much of a big deal. So they want to win this one for sure, just to make sure they don't get in a horrible situation of going the next round being an eco.
And again, the boosts, this is also something basically that's becoming standard here for CT side. You have to try and change up your position. You have to come up with something clever, and they were pre-aiming that position as well. So Olofmeister not going to get rewarded with the kill, but at least they managed to force NaVi back. They force a nade out as well, so they can get that gear out of the way. 1 minute, 10 seconds left, and C's still holding up close, not finding the angle. There's Crims on your screen. So we'll see if Crims is going to be able to spot anything out. It's JW once again leading the charge. This time JW wins the fight. He gets that opening and that entry frag. Very light on the nades now for NaVi. With 55 seconds left, they're down to a single incendiary and 2 flash nades. This is actually incredible. The gear on Fnatic, they have 5 smokes. They can do whatever they wish at this point.
Yeah, just great reading for Fnatic there. The fact they managed to pick up that kill with no trade whatsoever, it's put them in a very good, strong position here. Like you said, the smokes are available. They can smoke off the A-bombs I hear. But to be honest, they don't really need to right now. They're probably just be looking for another frag, and then before they make their execution on, at least working out some intel.
There's 30 seconds left. They're starting to run out of time here, so they need to make this play. And Guardian, perfect. They take out the man who had the nade in hand. Guardian is down. Edward not able to capitalize on his position, and the smoke goes down to bot to basically render that plant safe. Nothing Flamey and Zeus can do in this position. They're down on the B side, and they're already backing off into T-spawn. And honestly, at this point, Fnatic, they might want to get out and start hunting.
Oh, absolutely. The CT is going to be reset to $1,400 next round. It's going to be a full eco from them. They really do want to save these weapons, but Fnatic have a nice bankroll. All they need to do, they really want to hunt this. They want to take those weapons off them and make sure they force them onto an absolutely full eco next round.
We might see, well, we might see a flusher rounding the corner here. Does the timing work? Yes, it does perfectly. In fact, could get the second man as well, and he is. Wow, flusher. No gun save for NaVi. And he's even knifing the corpse, going a bit happy there.
So NaVi's economy isn't horrendous. They're obviously going to be the buy next round. They are going to be investing in P250s, a 5.7 as well. No utility there, so I think like a nice push from them could be a good idea. We're just trying to get an early frag wherever they can. It's a very difficult map to do this on, especially on the long range part of the maps.
They do manage to spread out quite a bit on this map right now. Fnatic, they are going to go for the flash. It's not spotting man on mid, and wow, long spray there from Crims to get that kill on the Guardian. Fancy footwork from Guardian keeping him alive. That's Edward there with his glorious beard, challenging Havoc for the title of most manly beard in CS. And Crims is going to find Edward as well. So they're just cleaning house at this point, Fnatic. You know, they put on their aprons, they've got the brooms, the mop, and the feather duster, and right now it's not looking too hot for NaVi. Flush is just, I mean, it's mechanical.
This is a really strong position for
It's Flamey. We'll get it right eventually.
Yeah, it's like the fact they've got 5 rounds on the T side, it's so strong. And like when you know you've got such a strong CT side to accompany that as well, it's a really dangerous position for NaVi now. They can't afford to really drop any more rounds. They want to start building this up and getting back into it. We can see they have brought out the AWP now. They're going to mix it up a little bit. Potentially go for that initial round pick just to kind of get them back into the round and get the momentum in their favor. Here we go. Yeah, Guardian is going to be going for an aggressive sort of face here, I think.
Guardian always focused as always, essentially. And he's gone ahead and self-boosted himself up there, so trying to change up the angle somewhat. But look at Fnatic. They're changing up the pace here. They're trying to put some pressure on B very quickly. And once again, they're going to force out the nades. Incendiary used. 2 smokes left, 2 flashes. NaVi, it feels like the majority of this first half, they have gone without any nades whatsoever to help them. It's all been down to rifle work. But there's that 1 smoke. Already down on short with the minute 10. It's a lifetime. Fnatic have all the time in the world now. They can do what they want. And Zeus nearly gets his head taken off there by Crims. Nicely done by Crims. This is going to set it up now. Smoke's going out, flashes as well. There's the Molotov, but Flamey doing a bit of a flush. He managed to pick up 1 kill with that P90 on short. Olofmeister instantly returns, however, and it's going to be a man advantage now for NaVi, managing to turn it around. Pronax finds the kill onto C's, but they still need to get that bomb planted. They just now are going to manage it, but Zeus jumps up onto the site, invades it, and this is looking fantastic for NaVi. 2-man lead, and Crims crouching. Not much that he can do in this position at all. they should be defusing on this bomb, but it looks like they're still hunting around for Crims, wanting to make sure that they don't get shot in the back somehow. Unless he's got some kind of no.
I think he's kind of given this one up and letting them have it. He knows once they got that bomb down, it looked quite strong for Fnatic, but the retake was just far too beneficial from NaVi for them there. Jumping up onto the boxes and taking down the planter was a very important move for them. Crims managing to stay alive, and then this should be the start of the campaign now for NaVi to get themselves back into this game. Lord knows they need to get a few more rounds on the board just to kind of assert this dominance on the CT side, which we should be seeing. I'd like to see some more map control from them, to see some more aggression in the sewers as well.
And Fnatic in the lead with 5 rounds. 2 rounds now for NaVi. And once again, Fnatic setting up across the map, looking to see if there's going to be any aggro pushes coming out from NaVi. NaVi, I do like that they are putting a focus on long. They are putting a focus on mid early on in these rounds. This is exactly what they have to do to basically keep Fnatic honest. Make sure that Fnatic don't get too greedy and start rushing up to that A site early on in the rounds. They need to make sure that Fnatic, they have to be a little wary. And somehow they're not spotting out that angle. Seized instead. He's holding it a bit more closed. He's safe here. Is he going to actually pick up the first man around that corner? It's going to be Crims. HE onto it, and there's the flash as well. Flamey walks in, straight into a bullet from Crims. And now JW, he's looking for a shot, but the flank comes out. Guardian and Edward. Edward having rotated in through connector. He's managed to pick up 2 kills. That completely eviscerates the push. Fnatic have nothing left. It's down to Flusha and Pronax. They still have some nades. And they might actually be able to get this bomb site, this bomb plant down here on the B site. Zeus still kind of holding, but he's way back in CT. He can't actually step forward to deny this. Incredible. Flusha finds the shot onto Zeus. Now only a man advantage here for NaVi to work with. And the bomb has now just been planted. Guardian trying to hold this angle. Pronax manages to pick off Seas, who decided to take that fight. Whopping through from Guardian. Takes out Pronax, and that leaves Flusha all by his lonesome. 10 HP. Spots the man dropping down. Gets the headshot clean. Guardian is going to land the shot point blank after having swapped out for the M4. Perfect decision on his part. He needed those bullets. That was way too close.
That wallbang from Guardian, like, good lord. Like, he needed that to happen. Like, it looked like that situation was going in favor of Fnatic, picking up the frag where they could after the bomb, and then the fact he got that wallbang, that sealed the deal for them. And then, like, great awareness from him to pick up an M4 as well. It's such a great decision. He knew that Fnatic would be lurking around trying to pick up a frag, but great play from him, and that's going to be a very, very big round in terms of momentum for them.
Absolutely. And it's only through like the top stack, actually. You know, there's 2 stacks of wood there. You can only get it through the top. So Pronax had to be standing up there for Guardian to hit that shot.
Big play.
Crazy stuff. And now Seas, now they go for some more aggression at top mid. Fantastic spray down there by Seas. Takes out Pronax right at the start. And that was the bomb dropped as well for Fnatic, so they're going to have to go back and recover that eventually. But now they're trying to find some way back into this, trying to find the refrag, and it's just not there. JW, however, are they going to try and go for the boost? No, they're just jumping around over there trying to make sure that they have some eyes on mid. C's still lurking here so aggressively, however, but that smoke goes down, and that angle, if it was spotted by Fnatic, that should tell them. So maybe they'll be in position, and they might have been with JW, except that Guardian picks him up. It's going to be down to Crims over there, but he's not going to be able to get anything. He doesn't really have a target to work with. Instead, they swap places. Edward will hold close now with the M4, so Fnatic could be playing it like they expect an AWP around there. That won't be the case. NaVi right now starting to find themselves. There's the first kill going Fnatic's way, however. Olofmeister takes the fight up close with Seized and wins. And now they have to wonder exactly where they're going to be going here. With 40 seconds left, they have to go pick that bomb up, Fnatic. And they're going off of Flusha, essentially, who's been lurking on the B site. Doesn't look like he's been able to find Zeus, however, who's still alive. And as I say it, Zeus catches Flusha. So that pretty much seals it here for Fnatic. 30 seconds left, and it's going to have to just be a straight-up bum rush, it looks like. But they already have Edward just flanking them perfectly. This is NaVi in full control of the situation. In this round, at least, not at one point when they're in danger of losing control.
Yeah, fantastic work there. Like, managing to get the opening 2 frags, and we know how strong Fnatic can be in those situations. You can never write them off in the rounds. We saw it happen a lot against Nip yesterday. Like, even being on a 3-on-5, they somehow crawl back into the round. So, nice discipline there from NaVi, although C's caught out of position a little bit. Could have gone either way, I think, but the fact Guardian was just hitting all his shots and just completely locked that round down was fantastic work from him. And we can see C's actually opting for a little MP7 here. It could be interesting to see how that actually pans out for him.
If he's holding up close, I mean, he's actually pushed all the way up here into T-spawn. Yeah. He could hit this perfect timing to get the flank. Olofmeister, though, he's holding this angle. Free kill on the Seized. Casually picked up as well. Sue's trying to go for the wallbang through, but he's not going to get lucky there. And Fnatic very quickly took control of Soars in this round as well, because at the same time as Olofmeister holding back, Crims leads the charge into Soars, clears it up, and he gets the frag there as well. Zeus is gone. 2-man lead now for Fnatic. Decent nade count here still for NaVi, but there's a minute left.
Wow.
That nade, though, perfect nade from Edward. And it does decent damage to JW as well. That was fantastic work.
Lovely.
But now it's time for the counter boost. Is somebody holding by the barrels? Oh, JW should have spotted the man there. Not sure if he did. He's got to be close. Yeah, now he definitely spotted it. But there's 2 guys playing on this B site now, so it's going to be very difficult for Fnatic. They need to set up the nades. Guardian with an HE of his own, not really going to do too much. And we have to see now, do Fnatic commit or not? With 30 seconds left, they're starting to get second thoughts about this. They've worked their way back into mid now. Bomb made its way through connector up into mid, and they could actually push onto this A site. And this would actually be very difficult now for NaVi to hold. There's a single man here that's Flamey holding behind the truck. No, it's Edward actually. He steps out at the perfect time and picks up the first kill. 15 seconds left and he wins, takes out the bomb carrier. Now, this is so difficult for Fnatic to come back in. They will get that kill, Olafmeister, but he needs to step forward, pick up that bomb, get the plant, and it's just not meant to be when Flamey is there to rotate back onto the site.
Yeah, it's a great rotation from Fnatic there to make that decision to go towards the A-bomb site. It was the best decision they could have made in that situation, but that was all about Edward, picking up 2 very valuable frags there and securing the round for NaVi. And that's going to be another, was that the 4th one in a row now? This is the momentum we're talking about. When you get on the CT side, you want to be racking these rounds up. It is a CT-sided map. You want to be locking them down and kind of shutting out the terrorists. We see an almost force buy now from Fnatic. They've got the Tech 9 on JW, and without the AWP in hand, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to work picks, especially when Guardian's on such top form as he's been displaying so far.
Yeah, this is the impact that Guardian can have on these maps when he is in shape. He makes a huge difference for NaVi. Flamey gets the double spray down. The second one actually given to him there. Zeus, however, not going to be able to pull the trigger. And Olafmeister lives with 1 HP. Flusha is here with 16, and Flusha will... No, that's Olafmeister, rather, that will fall to Edward. That's connector cleared up. 2-on-2 scenario. And the bomb just fixing to get planted. Nade onto Cat, and whoa, somehow that does nothing. Instead, it's going to be Guardian. Nice little pop flash there to try and clear the angle, but it's still a 2-on-2 scenario here. And Crims will best Edward. That Sewers cleared up. At this point now, it comes down to the remaining man. Flusha just trying to dance around the pillars, just trying to hide himself from Guardian. And Guardian, no luck at all right now. He can't seem to find anybody. Look at this position from Flusha. This is fantastic. Smoke goes down, but Flusha having none of that. Puts shots through and manages to pick Guardian up point blank. And that will be 6 rounds for Fnatic. Once it gets tied up 5-5, Fnatic pull right back in the lead again.
Yeah, great post-plant mentality there from Fnatic. Not over-facing, not giving Guardian a look into the round whatsoever. We know how deadly can be in those retake situations, forcing him to go into the AKM, running around. They just played it perfectly, no facing whatsoever, playing the bomb, and that's going to be a round now. And Fnatic actually take the lead again.
And now we go into overpass. I mean, this is now getting very difficult here for NaVi. They've got their backs to the wall. They can just barely cobble together a buy. Guardian has his AWP, but look at the aggression all out now from Fnatic, starting to push onto this site. They trade 1-for-1, and the damage is there. They continuously strike back and forth. Zeus is now lending a hand. Guardian will close in, and it will be seized in Zeus. The combination play and the crossfire as well that will just completely annihilate that Fnatic push coming in through B main.
Yeah, we saw Fnatic do that quite a lot yesterday. Just when they get string around together and they know the CTs aren't going to be essentially a full buy, they just like to opt to walk through the B smoke. And like sometimes it works great for them. They get that first entry frag, it is phenomenal. But that time, it just kind of let NaVi get back into the game. There, they got the full spray down through the smoke, and then did great work there. As I say, that Guardian picked up another aggressive kill here. Terrorists are going to be eco, but that's just a nice way to secure the round for them. They just need to fall back to the bomb site now and ensure they don't drop any frags here. Very fragile economy for them.
Yeah, nicely done there by C's dropping that bomb. Now he can take control here. He actually hangs around a bit too long there. These pistols, that's the thing, they're so lethal. If you're facing 2 or 3, I mean, it can be very dicey for you, and C's finds that out. Pronax hitting shots. And Edward is here basically, he is the safety mechanism here for NaVi. They get control of mid once again, and they will be able to close out and actually pull into the lead now. 7-6, NaVi. Very, very quick rounds there. Very quick 2 rounds. We're in the 14th round of this half. Quickly approaching the end, and this is going to be a key round for Fnatic. If they don't win this round or at least get a bomb plant.
Yeah, I can see Crims there. He had the money to drop the AWP. He was kind of contemplating it and not taking armor for himself, but they've opted for the 5 AKs again. And it looks like they're going to be going towards A here, and perhaps a little lurk coming in from Flusha. We've seen him like he can hold that bomb site by himself. He can get entry frags all day long now.
And instead, it's going to be aggression straight up. Guardian doesn't hit that shot. Now the pressure begins. He will get overwhelmed. Crims trading 1-for-1. However, Seized is there, and he's still alive in restroom. Makes it back to the A site with 29 HP. But it is a 4-on-4 until Edward steps forward. Perfect flank from long. Crims turns around in time to take him out, and JW somehow finds Seized. This is actually getting a little bit out of control here. NaVi, it's going to come down to Flamey, Lurk and Restroom, and Crims. How is Crims pulling this off? You could see the frustration on Flamey's face just now. But the fact that Crims, that's 2 kills where he had something like 20 HP.
Yeah.
That's incredible. The reactions there. Zeus rotates back around trying to get into position to stop this bomb from getting planted, but that smoke goes up. And it's not going to be possible for him now. I mean, they've even got the HEs going onto him. He's got 30 HP, pushing onto the site. No fear now. Takes the fight, wins it. Will remove Crims from the equation, but Flusha still has full HP, and Zeus has no kit. He has no kit. He has no time to play with. He needs to find this kill right now. At this point, it comes down to whether Flusha gets impatient or not, but Flusha will take that step forward out into the open and win it. And Olafmeister literally wiping the sweat off his brow. Yes, that was a tense round, Olaf. It was close.
Yeah, we saw Edward get in such a fantastic position there, taking down the bombing party, and I feel like he could have picked up 2 frags there, maybe overphasing a little bit. Once he had the intel of the bomb going down, perhaps should have just got himself into a hidden position and just called for the team to rotate and lock that down. Instead, he gave his frag away and gave them the entrance back into that round, and this is going to be a very important last round indeed. We can see a really awful buy coming in from NaVi here. Like the scouts was on siege, but to be fair, God, I didn't see the AWP there. He has got the AWP in hand, so potentially they could take this one, but Fnatic seem like they are a bit of a roll right now.
Yeah, Fnatic are the ones with the momentum at this point. They've got the nades as well to start creating some opportunities for themselves. Flash into Restroom right there, and pretty sure that was spotted by Crims. You see him just stand stock still, waiting. Smoke goes down, and he spots him out, and he loses the fight versus Edward. Key frag right there for Edward, getting that entry. They have wrapped around, however, but at this point, it's going to come down to Long, and Pronax was waiting, takes out Edward, but Flamey just locks on. Mechanical precision there, takes Pronax out. And NaVi, they're fighting tooth and nail to maintain the advantage, to maintain that man advantage. Jump in now, Flamey just spraying wildly. Is he going to actually commit to this fight? Yes, he will. Olafmeister playing with it right now, but Flamey comes out ahead. Last bullet gets the job done. Zeus, in the meantime, took out JW, it looks like, and it is going to be Flusha, last man alive here in a 1v4. He doesn't even have the bomb, and he's only got 35 seconds left to play with here. As soon as NaVi figure this out, he's toast. Well, he's not going to be literal toast. They don't have an incendiary, but they have some bullets. And Flamey, man, I guess Flamey, it works too. Yeah, nice last round from NaVi. Like, they really needed to win that last round. I'm going to say 8 rounds is not enough against a team like Fnatic, but they obviously needed to win that half, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Like, they really do need the pistol here just to get themselves some sort of momentum built up and like get themselves back in and get in a comfortable position. But I think we saw Fnatic do such an aggressive pistol yesterday that they just locked it down straight away. Yeah, and right now, I mean, it used to be that this was a very heavily favored CT side, or rather a CT-sided map, but we can't expect teams to get more T rounds. 7 just feels like a lot, though. They really needed 9-6 here, NaVi, and even then it would have been cutting it close. Pronax holding up close. Smoke goes down. Does Edward actually peek around the corner? Yes, he does, but he's getting shot in the butt, and he's going to go down. This is now Olafmeister setting it up. That crossfire really paying off. The damage being dealt, and this is a straight Kevlar buy from NaVi as well. They have no nades to facilitate things. They have to get it done with elbow grease. They have to find the shots. Flusha, however, he's going to get the headshot first, and there's the fade away from Olafmeister. And you can see Starix, man, hands in the air right there. Yeah, the Glock train with all armor and stuff as well. It works on some maps, but for me on this, you need the smoke to at least just to guarantee a bomb plan. And Fnatic is so strong there. Pronax getting himself in that position by Restrooms there, and like they did, although NaVi checked, he somehow managed to still get a frag there. It didn't go down for a while, and that's going to be a very important round indeed. You can see Fnatic opting for their favorite SMGs there. You got Scouts, Famises, MP9s, P90s. It's going to be a field day for them, I think. But Tech9's in the hands of NaVi and Armor as well. As we say, that JW opens up the fragging on Long, taking down Guardian with a great scout headshot now. And all he needs to do is just play with this terrorist. He knows he can't take him down. This is a scary bit of a battle, actually. JW getting headshot at that range, and there you go. One more would do it. Does he act? This is pure JW. Why is he still here? Yeah, I mean, sure, he's got Crims watching his back, but I mean, I guess he just doesn't really care because it's only a scout that he's dropping in the end. Yeah. But come on, man. Crims is fairly low himself, but he's got 3 frags. We'll see if he can pick up a 4th one here. If seized, will check left when he comes around the corner. Instead, it will be the man holding. And that's going to be Flusha. A hail of bullets with that P90 gets the job done. And they even save a Tech 9. Wonder if Pronax is going to be generous and give that to Olaf. Pretty clean round from Fnatic there, considering the terrorists did have armor and Tech 9s, and with the SMGs in hand, I managed to only drop 1 frag there, which was the scout, and it's going to be a full Glock buy here from NaVi. So this should be a pretty clinical round from Fnatic. Should be able to keep all their guns as well. It'll be interesting to see whether they actually carry on those SMGs into the first buy. Well, there's the aggro flash just top mid that's going to slow things up for NaVi, but they've got MP9s. 2 MP9s and a P90. Not so worried about Flusha with the P90, but the MP9 there for Crim's actually going to work and taking out Zeus. Drops the bomb as well and underpass, so this is going to make things a little bit tricky here. Edward even having to back off, give ground. And JW pushed all the way up to long. This is lethal range, however. I don't really like the fact that he's up here, because if there's like 2 guys coming around the corner, he could actually die. Does react in time, however, and takes out C's. Flusha there, 2 kills for him, and Crims gets the last kill with that MP9. Like the fact that he's getting the kills with the MP9. I'd almost prioritize like giving the kills to the MP9 just because you get $600 instead of $300, and that makes a big difference as far as the money is concerned. Crims, you saw, started the round with 6,000 in the bank.
Yeah, upgrading there. Obviously, Flusha will keep his P9, so we know how strong that is. Olofmeister banking on building up his economy, keeping the famous. I think that's a wise move. Especially if you've got a bit of breathing room, like you've got the economy on your side, and they'll be able to buy next round even if they lose this one.
Well, JW just a little bit too slow there to catch them going past. And Olofmeister down in the underpass, basically, as always.
Gets punished a little bit there. He's been knocked down to 18 HP. We normally see him picking up the frag there.
Well, that was actually a clean fight as well for Zeus. But JW is now upgraded to his AWP. No jumping this time. Spots out the man and gets the kill onto Guardian. And that was just easy work. JW made it look so clean. And at this point now, it's going to be Zeus, and Pronax will win that fight. M4 in hand, gets the headshot, dropped down to 2 HP. So he is in grave danger. He has to back off short and manage to get back into CT side on B site. Still trying to figure out exactly where NaVi are going to decide to go, but this style, again, NaVi aiming for picks, spread out across the map, and right now it is not going their way. It's very similar to what we saw in Mirage. Seized, however, decides to take things into his own hands, and he takes out Flusha, but then Pronax up close will catch Seized completely off guard. That leaves the remaining 2 members here, Flamey and Edward, basically trying to pincer in on this B site, but a rotation has already come through. Crims is now on the lower site there to support Pronax.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on the clock. They really need to get the skates on here. They're actually going to get the bomb down. I don't see it happening. They should get dealt with pretty cleanly in the next 10 seconds or so.
Well, now, I mean, they have 2 smokes, but they now are just 1 man alive here. 1v3. Catches out Pronax, but 8 seconds left, and the time that it's going to take Edward to get back up onto the site, it might not be good enough. He hits that headshot, but he's only got 3 seconds. It is now impossible. JW doesn't even need to face him at that point.
He went for it anyway. Why not?
That's just pure JW for you, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, there we go. The economy's been absolutely shattered for NaVi now. They're going to have to consider another, I would say, just go for a full eco there. But it looks like they're going for the smokes. They've gone for a full... Oh, this could be disastrous for them. They've gone pretty much all in on this. They've got a lot of nades, all Tech 9s, some armor being bought there as well. They have lost 3 or 4 rounds in a row. So the economy, like, they can afford to get this stuff in the bank, but I don't see what's going to come of this. Well, I think we're going to see a full-on B execute here. Yeah,
it's looking like it, and this is so similar to when NaVi had their backs to the wall on Mirage. What did they do? Yeah. They came out of it, they went for a Force Tech 9, and when they went for the Force Tech 9, that's when they went for the execute. So we'll see if they're going to be... I mean, the one thing with there is an advantage to have with the Tech 9s as well, though, versus executing with AKs, is that you don't have to stop with the Tech 9s.
Sure.
You just can run and gun. You never stop, basically, like you have to do with the AKs to take your shots. So there is that. There's an element of speed that you can have with the pistols that you just don't have with the rifles. But still, it's like you kind of wish you would see an AK setup here. Crims, though, just going to work with this MP9. In danger of getting rushed down, however, only 14 bullets, and he's going to miss the shot. There you go. Flamey just comes whipping around that corner, takes his face off. Pronax to hold down short, however, and Flamey's going to get caught there. So not the end of the world. Man advantage maintained, but there's an MP9 now on NaVi, and that's dangerous. Edward could put that to good use. It will be the B-side play here after all. Bomb is making its way through main. Flusha holding just on the edge of this smoke, waiting to see if anybody's going to try and push through. On short, he holds up close, gets that fight, spots the second man, and he's not going to get the kill. Seized, lives, but not for long. Pronax is there to plug the gap. 3 kills for Pronax total in that round. And Fnatic up on 12 rounds now to the 8 of NaVi. Still a fairly decent buy situation there for NaVi, though. They do succeed in getting 2 kills.
Yeah, well, they get $3,400 now. They've lost so many in a row, so that's why they're able to get those Tech 9s and utility buys. But it's not going to be like you can see Guardian has got the orb. He's got no head armor, no utility on him, but it's all going to be down to him. I think they're going to be trying to utilize him as best as they can to try and open up this round for him. He knows that the Fnatic like to pick this position, and if this is it, this is the shot he's going to have to make here. They know potentially he hasn't seen him with the nade being
exactly. That's so clever.
Play.
By Flusha,
really cool.
Uses the HE to cover his way through. Yeah. So now Guardian doesn't know if anybody's on the right. This is very tricky stuff. Zeus hoping to basically win out versus the man holding a connector. That's JW falling back there. Giving ground. And so now that we've had the initial skirmish, where do NaVi go? Apart from into a bullet from JW. Pushed up into mid, he closes up on Edward up, and now this looks very difficult for NaVi because once again they're playing from behind. They've got a man down. They still have a decent nade count on Seized and Zeus. Molotovs give them some options if they want to go to the A site. We haven't really seen any action on A, however. It just seems like NaVi keep getting shut down before they can even really get anything going. And they're gathering down in connector once again. 3 players there, bomb waiting in T-spawn. They're going to jump down into sewer and take out Pronax. So here we go, the big moment.
Yeah, this is it.
3-on-4 scenario, and they could collapse onto this site. Olofmeister should get smoked out here, and he is not going to be able to see anything at all. HE goes onto that site, however, and he's going to have the Molotov as well. It's going to be right on the edge. Is he going to be able to deny the plant? He has to get up here very quickly, and he's going to find the man, but not land the shot. Zeus is there to deny him. And it's going to be Crims and JW now in a 2-on-4 scenario. Make that 1-on-4 as Crims is now the last man standing. Takes out Seized. Zeus and Guardian very low, but the Triangle of Doom, they're going to have plenty of time to set it up for NaVi. It's just too difficult a position here for Crims. And you can see he's looking for somebody to get greedy.
Yeah, it's going to do very well to find any sort of entrance to this round. It's interesting from Fnatic getting the opening frag with JW there, and then still being so overextended after getting that initial frag. Like normally the mentality is a CT. If you get that first frag, you want to just fall back and make the T's work for it from that point. You've got the advantage, and you want to force them into the site. You're going to have to draw the clock down. You've got a 5-on-4 situation, but Pronax there a little bit too extended on short for my liking. Lost his frag and then allowed that entry into B, and the plant was going down. They had the chance to stop the plant, but had he done that, potentially could have been a different outcome, but it wasn't meant to be, and NaVi do get back into this one.
Yeah, Zeus with the accurate read, essentially, he managed to get into position in time to defend that bomb planter. Because Olofmeister, you could tell, you could see through the smoke, you could just see that guy's heel.
Yeah.
That was a matter of split seconds, but that's what CS is about. Down to the timing, always. And well, now 9-12 the score, so NaVi slowly but surely bringing it back here. Fnatic, this is a key round for Fnatic as well. They've just spent all of their money to get equipped for this one, so between both of these teams, NaVi have just won a round. If they were to lose again, they get reset. Fnatic, their backs are to the wall. This is it, 22nd round of this map. And we could have a big shift in momentum. JW to pick up the initial frag, however, pushed all the way up once again to top of long, basically. Takes out Flamey.
With no support either. It's pretty crazy play from him, but he just makes it work for himself so well. Great opening round from it. Great opening pick from him.
Another fall back onto the site, but not fast enough. Olofmeister gets caught out in the open, and Edward is there to pick him up. Smoke goes down to block that off, and now we have the counter boost coming through, but will he have a target here? JW very well might. There you go. Edward walks into it, and he puts the shot into the wall. Big mistake there by JW. That was a free frag that could have definitely given his team a big advantage. That's uncharacteristic, especially when he seems like he's kind of feeling it right now. JW, he's starting to hit some shots. Him hitting a freebie, basically, on Edward there. Very awkward stuff. And Zeus just trying to lurk his way in there. He's got the Molotov for the back of the barrels, however, and Guardian looking for this shot. Man might be forced out into the open here. HE goes in, flashes as well, just trying to buy the time. Pronax trying to live, but it's not meant to be. Seized and Zeus find both kills on this B site, and with 10 seconds remaining, in true NaVi fashion, that bomb is going to get planted. Crims, JW, the last two alive here. And they're the ones now who are trying to get something done. Crims quickly up short, picks up the first kill, gets the second one as well, could get the third. Does he figure it out? Man holding in main pit, but JW now pushing forward. They've spotted it out, and JW taking this fight straight up with the P2000. Crims walks in, picks up the last one, and it's going to be Edward now. Rotated around to short, however. Crims does have a kit, but he's got so little time, and at this point, he has to commit to it. Edward, of course, is going to leap on the opportunity, but that was 3 HP. Edward barely lives.
Yeah, that was a really nice round from NaVi there. Like, they seem to be favouring this B bomb site. Every time they've gone there so far, it seems to be working for them. They're actually making the entry frags, getting the bomb down, and these post-plant situations seem to be going in their favour quite a lot as well. That, like you said before, that was a very important round for both teams. You can see Fnatic now are being forced onto an eco here. Like, I think that's a wise choice from them. Just get this round over with and then try and just close this one out. I do feel like Fnatic still do have the advantage here in the series.
Now we can say that right now. All of a sudden, since they've finally succeeded in breaking Fnatic's economy.
Yeah.
This is the big shift. HE going to be fairly ineffective there, but the score is now 10-12, and NaVi, they've just slowly taking control of long. They're sticking together as a group as well. They leave one man lurking on his own, that's Zeus. But then the 4 of them basically trying to stick together so that if they get jumped by rifles, if they happen to walk into a stack somewhere, they're not going to give anything up. They aren't going to give a rifle to Fnatic. This is the anti-eco doctrine, essentially. You just have to make sure that you always got control of your guns But JW finds Zeus regardless. That's the lurk. Crims takes out Seized. 2-man advantage now, an AK to work with. Edward up on this A side, however, but the rotation's already coming through. They're going to have to worry about Bank. Flusha trying to look through the gap in the smoke. Could he actually find a target to work with here? 3 players survive for NaVi. Guardian just dancing on the edge, and Edward catches down Crims. But there you go. Flusha hits the timing, draws the attention to himself, and now it is going to be a 1-on-3. Flamey doing the best that he can to hold on to this site. He's going to take the first man. Second man looks for the shot, but he's not going to get it. Pronax with the USP is going to find the kill. And plenty of time for the defuse. Talk about a complete and utter turnaround, even with NaVi playing so carefully.
Yeah, like the problem there was, like, even when they were losing the frag, there was no teammate to back them up. Like, once they gathered there on the eco, they need to be playing that frag for frag. As soon as someone goes down in those situations, you need to be playing with the playstyle that you've got a teammate with you to get that frag back. And the fact that he can get back into that round of USPs and 1 CZ was very questionable, and NaVi could be very frustrated with themselves there, I feel. And you can see now, Fnatic, after that winning an eco so cleanly, got a full buy here, and it's like, look at the economy on NaVi. They've gone all in here. This could be all she wrote for this one, because after this round, they're going to be left with absolutely nothing.
Exactly right. Fnatic up on 13 rounds. If NaVi lose this, they're reset. They are doomed. Fnatic will be able to get up onto match point, and JW starting off strong, takes out Edward once again. JW's been so consistent on this map with the entry frags. Misses that shot there, but he goes for the follow-up and drops Flamey down to 20 HP. That's the other man with the AK. They're going to have to start juggling guns around now, NaVi. Make sure that somebody with full HP has something to work with. This Crims holds up close. Flash there to try and slow them down. They're just putting random fire through, but he manages to dodge all of it. And now JW's like, oh, yes, action over here. Yes, please. Flamey, I missed you once. Not going to miss you again. Nice flash. And they're just going to go for the rush, but JW gets the kill on a Seized. Nonetheless, in a situation where you should not get anything, where you should just get overrun, he still trades 1 for 1. And that is going to be a real blow dealt to NaVi's confidence. JW, just a monster. Man advantage here for Fnatic, and they still have 2 incendiaries with 35 seconds left. This is excellent for the Swedes. And look at this, paying attention to the angles there. Flamey, nothing to work with. He can't even pick that man off.
Yeah, he needs to find something, and he needs to find it now. They're going to have a chance of even getting to this bomb site. Look at the setup that Fnatic have got. 3 people on the A bomb site. They know they're committed here.
And just as he comes around that corner, Crims is going to find the angle. Zeus trying to battle his way in through long. Picks up the first one, but Crims is there to take him out in turn. 3 members survive for Fnatic. 14 rounds on the board for them. And NaVi pretty squarely in a deep hole here. 2,000 across the board for them.
Yeah.
It has to be, and Zeus already going for the P250. So basically you're thinking just Hail Mary here. Save this round, buy up in the next.
Yeah. They're going to have to go for the draw here. Like, they can't afford to force that buy. They're just not going to win it. So they've gone for the P250s. This is hell for NaVi right now. This is like, when you're this close to losing, you have to do an eco. It's just such a difficult and hard decision to make. But as we say, that Flame is making it work. They're making up the opening frag. A little bit sloppy perhaps from Crimza. Yeah,
getting caught out of position. That all-out aggression from NaVi paying off. JW in position once again with the AWP, however, to lock down this midsection into restroom. And well, right now we still haven't quite seen it. They are spread out fairly. I mean, they're very spread out right now, NaVi as well. All across the map. 2 guys on long. 1 all the way over by the main entrance to B site. And they're looking to see if they can't pick somebody up here from Fnatic. Basically get lucky. But you see how Fnatic pushed together in mid. I mean, as I say that, JW, of course, is all by his lonesome. So this is just pure JW for you. But then if he hits shots like that, it's not really the end of the world either. That's the bomb now exposed out in the open. JW didn't get eyes on it. So Edward should be able to pick this up for free. But Edward has an M4. Shot going to be missed, takes the fight, nearly wins it. JW down to 5 HP, and Edward hot on his heels. He desperately wants to get this kill, drops the bomb, makes sure. Wants to make sure, and he's not going to get the kill. JW point blank.
This guy just never knows when to stop. I don't know, I can't believe he's still going for it. You've won the round, just fall back and just secure it. 30 seconds left on the clock, he just can't get enough.
And he hears the steps as well, so he knows somebody's there.
Look at him.
Another one? Like, this is getting ridiculous.
How, like, the confidence that guy's got, like, to keep baiting. Like, we know he's good, but, like, at some point you've got to decide, is it worth me losing this gun just to have some flashy shots there? Like, the round was secure. But there we go, he pulls it off, as he always does, and that's going to put them on to match point in this series here. After taking the first map of Mirage, they're going to be in a very comfortable position there. NaVi need to win 5 in a row, and for me, it's just it's not going to happen. It's going to be very difficult. If they do it, then my hat goes off to them.
If JW continues to deliver entries, that's the thing. NaVi now, they don't want to have anything to do with them. They're going to pressure over on B site, get control of Soar, have a little bit more room to work with over here. Crims is rotated down with Olafmeister into connector, however, so they are going to have a bit of a stiff defense here. And Flusha looking for the wallbang, and I think he just got a little bit lucky there. So this is now very scary indeed for NaVi. They've suffered some damage. They've taken damage. They're light on nades. They do have 4 smokes, so they could try
They have the smoke. They have the smoke and flash combination here for this B side if they want to. But Crims wins versus Zeus, and look at Olofmeister. Not a chance in the world for Guardian. 2 entry frags now for Fnatic, and they are still, I mean, practically full HP. Great wallbang on a JW there by C's, but then he just gets completely slapped around. Flushes there, takes him out, and now we're looking at basically Fnatic practically with the round in the bag as Olofmeister's pushed all the way up in the playground. This is going to be nasty. Who actually takes this fight? Who actually runs through the smoke? And he catches him with a nade in hand. Olofmeister making life hard for yourself, man. He gets the kill in the end, takes out Flamey, but it is going to be Edward now 1v5. Match point for Fnatic now, and this is looking fantastic for the Swedes.
Yeah.
Dominant performance, just dominant. Flamey, or rather Edward, not going to give up though. Gets the headshot onto Olofmeister, so finally removes that thorn from his side, but then he walks right into the waiting arms of Crims, and that will be that. Final round for Fnatic, and a quick 2-0 victory for them. NaVi doing the best that they could, but Fnatic this round, this match, there was no hesitation. They really just did work.
Yeah, and a much-needed 3 points for Fnatic there as well. Like, after dropping a map to Vox yesterday, they needed to win out almost every single game they had on. And 2-0 against a powerhouse such as NaVi, I think that's pretty much secured their second place in the group, and I think that's a fantastic result for them. Very clinical, nice play. Didn't have to do anything too fancy, just relying on the pure skill of JW over the 2 maps there. He seemed to do some great work, especially on Mirage as well. Olofmeister was getting some very important picks and opening the rounds up for his team, and NaVi just looked a little bit lost on Mirage. And then
it's true.
And then on to Mirage as well. Like, they just didn't get enough rounds of CT.
Well, this is what the risk is basically when you are dominant on a map for quite some time, because Navi on Mirage, nobody wanted to play Mirage versus them. That's how good they were. Even the top tier did not want to take a fight with Navi on that map. But once you start losing on it, then you start putting things into question. And Navi, now it seems like perhaps on that map in particular, it wasn't the snappy, crisp Navi that we're used to seeing. It was this Navi that were kind of bumbling around on the map trying to find picks. Okay, that didn't work. Just not really knowing what to do, and that's not something you say very often about Zeus, because he's a man who actually has the battle plan going up against the map, and they are always so well prepared versus their opponents. Navi, these are guys that sit up all night watching demos, just doing the homework, making sure that they know every little thing they can that would potentially help them get a win. So to see them just bomb out 2-0 like this, it's rough.
Yeah, especially on Mirage as well. They weren't adapting enough to what the CTs were bringing to them. Like, they took that timeout we saw, and like it seemed like after the timeout, most teams will come back with a new strategy, a new methodology, but they seemed more lost than ever on the map, and then got completely locked down, and then it just didn't go in their favor at all. And then resetting on overpass, it just never happened for them. Like, they managed to win the CT half, but like as I said before, it just wasn't enough. And then there we go, 2-0 to Fnatic, 3 points that were much needed.
Yeah, exactly. Much needed. You're right. I mean, such a close group, especially with how, I mean, Vox are really just becoming this upset monster. Yeah. The upset machine. I mean, a 2-0 win for them.
Which they seem to bring to every single LAN event they go to. They take down one of the giants and then cause upsets in their group. Like, they might not necessarily get through this group now after that result, but the fact that they cause these upsets and like dictate who is going to go through, it makes it very exciting. And I hope to see a lot more from those guys in future. One of my favorite teams to watch. I think they're absolutely fantastic.
And their demeanor as well. I mean, Havoc and Sponge. I mean, just whole 9 yards. Those guys are great. Sponge is just hungry. He's here. He's listening to Thorn and Richard. He's just like, so after we tin can these guys, what is Thorn going to say, right? I'm just like, okay, Sponge, I know you're pumped. I know you're going to go for the win here. But I think now it is time to throw to the analysts. I think we will now head over to the analyst desk to hear what Scoots, Thorn, and Richard have to say about this 2-0 victory for Fnatic.
Thank you, Semler and Henry Gel, I guess is your new name, Henry Gel.
Wicked burn there, Scoots. Really got him. God, he's going to have to think up one to get you back later.
Production starts picking these fights with talent. It's a very dangerous game they're playing with their little intermission
You've got to just take it easy. He looks absolutely worn out there, doesn't he?
He is.
He's a shell of himself.
If NBK was looking at him, NBK would say he looked really fuck-used.
Fuck-used.
Yeah. Fuck-used. It's his French accent, you see. Fuck-used.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So,
get swearing.
2-0. Exactly what Fnatic need to do. Like we said, we were kind of on the bubble in the sense of points because of the splits before. So that gives them a grand total of 5 points. And now, again, they have one more match than a lot of other teams, but that kind of puts them in the front of the group right now, at least for points. So.
Yeah, I mean, better from Fnatic, but the thing that immediately stood out for me was pretty much what Duncan talked about. We were talking about the Battle of the AWPers. I was kind of telling the story of Guardian. Duncan was talking about JW's form. Well, JW's put on a masterclass today, and he's absolutely battered Guardian. It was quite interesting on the first map as well. there was points where Guardian was going for re-peaks against JW, which you wouldn't do ordinarily, but you could tell. That's the kind of player he is. He wants to win the duel. So he was setting himself up for the fall in a lot of ways. He wasn't going to revert to plan B. He wanted to beat JW, but JW was unplayable today. Just absolutely sick across the board. And that was probably enough to put Fnatic over the top against the Na'Vi side, who they weren't bad. But I think you can probably glean, from the fact that, the overpass, this isn't really working for them yet. I don't know why they seem insistent on picking this map. It's not really working. They need to go back to the drawing board on that. But yeah, Fnatic looking a lot better today. That's a good result.
I mean, the Mirage was definitely a question for a while there. Na'Vi had a solid lead. But like I said, there are different factors at play here. Okay, it's been a long time since actually we've had to see much Mirage from Fnatic, even they're going back to it now. And the Na'Vi that were the monsters on Mirage were the ones before they changed Sarix out for Flamey. So you never know what just one player, I mean, you don't know what player, what his strengths are on a specific map, how it'll change your dynamic on a map. And they don't seem quite as strong. They still seem good. I mean, admittedly, without an amazing Guardian performance, it's always hard to know how good Na'Vi are, because that tends to be what goes along, coincides with them being at their best, is Guardian just going crazy. On the Fnatic side of things, like I said, even from the game they lost to NiP yesterday, they're really good on overpass, especially that CT side. Like what I mentioned there, what we were looking for yesterday is they have kind of like redefined the way you play the CT side of that map. Like they're so focused on that small site, but they play up in that like toilet area. They play really pushed up though, but they do it in two-man teams, So as a result, especially in this game here, if JW's getting the initial kill like that, it becomes impossible to even get into that side of the map, and it's almost game over at that point in time. And even though he got all the flashy kills, if you look at the end of the scoreboard, he just had like the same as everyone else, but he just got all the hard kills that like really demoralized the other team. The guy who killed him quietly was Crims. He had like 30 kills or something, but you never noticed it. It never looked like he was going crazy and doing this, that, and the other. He was just picking people off one per round, two per round.
That seemed to be kind of what was going on. JW would get this incredibly difficult kill, something flamboyant, flashy, like an impact kill, and then in the disarray that followed, while Na'Vi were trying to regroup, Crims would just be there just to mop up, people running around like headless chickens, and just it was a lot more like the Fnatic we're used to seeing at tournaments recently, and it kind of fits in with what we were talking about earlier. People are like, oh, Fnatic gonna wobble, a Fnatic gonna slip. In tournament play, class will always tell. You can have these one results where it's like, oh, it's all over, the Fnatic dynasty's all over. It doesn't work like that. Fnatic, we're always going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the group stage, and that's, like I say, within the context of the group, that's a huge result.
And this is the problem Na'Vi have had, which is that, yes, the one time it came together at the EPL Winter Finals, they could beat all these good teams, and they won the tournament, it looked fantastic. But even in that tournament, they would go 3 maps with people, they would have close maps with people. Their problem at the moment is they're a phenomenal side. They play at the level of these elite teams in the world, but they often lose just close games. And so it's all well and good to be, they're always close. Oh, if it was just this round, just that round. But there is some slight difference still between Na'Vi and between the NIP, Envious, Fanatics of the world. They still have a little extra level. And Na'Vi can play them close, but close isn't enough in this game.
I mean, I really thought they were going to take Mirage, actually, Na'Vi. And I thought we were going to be sat here in the post-match talking about, well, why didn't they pick Inferno? Why didn't Fnatic pick Inferno? But they did just enough on that map. And like I said, you can see how that's going to be a strong map for Na'Vi moving forward. It's overpass that's questionable for me, because Na'Vi, having already lost to Team Liquid on it, to be confident to pick it against Fnatic, who we know can play on there. And we've seen Team Liquid and been rightly critical of their performances at this event. It's a very strange pick and ban phase. I mean, I think that's perhaps poor judgment, something for them to reflect on after this match.
And then just to bring everyone up to speed, we talked a little bit about the Titan Virtus Pro match that was going on, and we were able to say that Cobble went to Titan. Well, Mirage went to Titan as well, so they 2-0'd Virtus Pro, and that was a 16-10.
And that's pretty big as well, because not only was Cobble thought to be the Virtus Pro map, but Mirage is the most famous Virtus Pro map. That's their home map, and actually it's a map that Titan haven't played until most recently. They just reintroduced it themselves, so it's a shock to lose 2 maps like that.
Taz said yesterday in his interview that he did, he actually said, we expect to play Titan on Mirage, and we think we'll beat them. We think it'll be a good matchup for us. So for them to lose like that, really, really surprising.
Yeah, it didn't work out for them. But speaking of interviews with Taz, James, the man, the myth, he's actually battling Henry G for the Hair Gel Award, I think, but he's got Devil Walk from Fnatic with him. Take it away, James.
Thank you, Scooch. Yes, I am joined by none other than Devil Walk, the coach of Fnatic. Now, you guys, you've had that shaky start to the event in general. Obviously, much better now, but what's been going on? What happened with the shaky start? Were the players kind of just warming up to it, or explain that to me?
Well, you know, Vox kind of caught us with our pants down. Good reference for me. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, they played such a solid game. So, you know, that alone cannot, you know, beat us. So they played super well individually, tactically. So they for sure deserved the win. I almost think they deserved the Dust 2 game as well. But eventually we pulled through that one, which was important to stay relevant going forward to the end of the group phase. And yeah, against NIP, a bit shaky as well. But, you know, much more stronger team on paper. And I think we still played a good game, even though we lost one map. It was a good game, you know. It was fun for everyone involved, and even though we lost, I think it was an exciting game to play and watch, hopefully. You know, we've been a bit shaky in the start of games, but we pulled through, and when we get the momentum, we usually string a lot of rounds together. So it's all about, you know, keeping the mood up and trying to focus on how to break through and get those rounds. But yeah, it's been. This was also like a pretty solid performance against NaVi. I think they're a very, very hard team to play against because they play very non-standard. They play very slow, and for players like us, I think it's hard to play against because, for example, like JW wants to run around, he wants action all the time, and it's hard to get those that action against NaVi. They're very, very solid in the defensive setups, both as CT and T. So. But yeah, we pulled through, and it was a great game.
Now, I'm not going to lie, when we were on Mirage, I was thinking, oh God, this is not looking good for Fnatic right now. Obviously, got there in the end, but such an uphill battle. What changed for you guys? Like, how did it go mentally for the players? How did they get back into it?
I think we just discussed, like, during the game, how they played. Like, we don't need to pretty much challenge middle. We can leave JW alone and, you know, kind of keep 2 men at each site, so we'll have more solid defense. You know, we don't need to like throw the smokes very early on against NaVi, so we kind of had them on and just played our game, try to slow them down as much as possible until the point where they don't have any seconds left to play with. So and I think we just played our very, very good CT side, even though Did we lose both pistols? I'm not sure. But
you did on the first map, and then you won both pistols on the second.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But yeah, just very, very good. We were calm, collected, and even though we lost rounds, we kept, you know, discussing what to do next. So just solid team spirit and solid performance.
Now, the next team you're going to have to come up against, obviously, Team Liquid, considered the weaker team of the lineup. Any worries at all for this, given the fact that you guys maybe not being your strongest?
Well, I don't think we're worried, but we're gonna prepare for the next game as anyone else, like any game. So you know, you can't underestimate opponents, even if they might have been lacking with their results. I think we need to take it seriously and you know, get a win, because otherwise we're pretty much screwed.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck going forward. It's going to be a great set of games to come still. Good luck versus Liquid, and we'll be flying back to the analyst desk for now.
I've killed it for everybody. So. No. Oh, we're back. Hey, let's have a little conversation. Okay. No one told me anything.
It's the way we just suddenly appeared.
Yeah, we're just teaching Scoop.
Production's getting me back. That's how how it works, right?
He's been thinking the entire time that the cough button right, mutes everybody. So all we can hear when he's like this bronchial man. Like, it's been horrible.
Oh, we're gonna start like taking the piss out of each other.
Yeah, it's that time of the day when we turn on each other on the desk.
Making some notes.
Yeah, you do that.
So I just want to point out, like, Devilwalk made that little joke about the pants, right? And if you are kind of new in this last year to Counter-Strike Go, you have no idea what he meant. But the very first major at DreamHack, he kind of made a bet. If we win this whole thing, on stage, drop in my pants. Yeah. And they won it. He dropped his pants, then shortly left the team, became their coach.
Yeah, not because of that.
Yeah, not because of that.
It sounded like,
but
what people saw, frightened children. You know, they were like, that can't be allowed to represent our brand anymore.
But you know, he delivered on his bet, so that was kind of cool.
We were just talking about that during the interview, actually. Like, out of all of the players that definitely deserve credit for sort of knowing actually the team would be better off without me, and having that kind of level of respect for his, you know, fellow teammates, to sort of just take the step back and be like, go ahead and be successful, I'll coach. Like, there's a lot of players who just cling too tightly to, you know, the idea of success and glory. And he's not one of them, you know, completely ditched the ego and said, go on. And since they dropped him, they've gone on to be world beaters. So, you know, deserves a lot of credit for the part he's played in that Genesis, even, you know, whatever you think of his coaching, even just having that, you know, the original idea to be like, yeah, you'd be better.
Yeah, because it's like you said, they often go, hey, not my fault we lost, man. It's him, it's him, it's him. Like, the blame game happens a lot. And that does take a lot for a guy to step back.
He's the top boy in my book.
Yeah, good guy.
Pants or no pants.
So, let's kind of get into it a little bit in detail. Obviously, we're gonna roll through some replays. They'd already started a few during Devil Walk's conversation, but again, you know, here on Mirage, Fnatic doing their thing.
Yeah, that was actually a Flamey highlight. I guess it looked like Olaf Meister was going to 1v3, but Flamey got it in the end. Flamey was pretty good over these two maps.
Yeah, I actually thought on Mirage, like you were talking about how, you know, there was maybe something not quite right on Mirage for NaVi, because they've been a good team on that map in the past. But I didn't necessarily identify Flamey as one of the problems. You know, I thought he stood out really well, you know, on a site, especially on CT. Had some great little sort of picks. He was getting 2-3 kills when Fnatic were trying to push out.
No, I think Flamey's certainly not short of talent.
Okay. I see what you did there.
He's not. He's not short of talent. Yeah. He's not short of talent.
Yeah. Do anyone laughing in the audience?
They don't even know Flamey is, mate. They just get like, I think to see is TLO coming out soon. When's StarCraft on? Is this the League of the Dotas?
Yeah. I'm going to start charging people a ticket to come up and hit
Defense the Legends?
Yeah. But yeah, so I thought Flamey was really good. And I said this before, when I think it was Hellraisers he stood in for, Asus ROG. At Winter, I was like, this guy's got the potential to be a good player in a good team. It's a disciplinary issue, you know. It's like it's his attitude. You know, he's always going to get into sort of, you know, stupid internet arguments, which certainly me and Duncan would never do.
No.
Or yourself.
I never get involved.
We're too mature for that.
Flame
so, you know, it's always a shame to sort of see. But now that he's in NaVi and can learn from sort of, you know, people. You know, like Zeus, like Edward, you know, real experienced heads who can pass that on. I think he's in a good spot. And I still think this NaVi team can be very, very good.
Yeah, and they do have 2 more matches. Obviously, they've got Nip and Vox still to come.
Yeah, I mean, real strange one now. I think in Nip, you were saying, were they ahead?
They are 12-9 right now.
So again,
ahead.
Yeah, so Vox is pushing them all the way here.
Yep, on train. Yeah.
On train. So before we can really talk about the group intelligently, obviously you need to see how that one goes. But NaVi, again, they're capable of taking a map off Nip. They're capable of beating Nip. I think they can. Maybe not this Nip. You know, we don't know how good Nip are. They had a great series against Fnatic last night. But I still think this group is wide open. You know, I really do. And like I say, my prediction at the start was that NaVi would get through it in place of Nip. I don't know. That's probably an outside bet now, but I still think NaVi.
I mean, for NaVi,
there's a twist and turn.
The spoiler for them could end up being that they lost the map to Liquid.
Yeah.
Because if these other teams are beating Liquid 2-0, that's where the problem could come from. Because obviously, the guys from have NIP played Liquid yet?
Yes.
And they won 2-0 yet?
No, that was the 1-1, right? Wait.
No.
Did I write that down right?
Nip versus Liquid. I think it was 2-0, right?
Oh, yeah, 16-1, 16-2.
Yeah, so they've won 2-0. So if they're against Nip in the head-to-head, that's where the issue could come from, because the point's already been taken, a point given away, so that's where that comes into play.
Yeah, because Fnatic's got 1 more to play. They're sitting on 5 points. So if they 2-0 Liquid, that puts them at 8. And again, it does get, like you said, Nip's got 2 more matches.
So it's possible Liquid might have to do a favor for someone like NaVi if NaVi want to have
true.
And Vox is sitting pretty good. I mean, they've got 4 points. They have 2 more matches, not easy ones, Nip and NaVi. But if they were to pull out, you know, a double win, that gives them, you know, 10 points. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it's like I say, the group is still wide open. Vox are the real wild card in the whole thing. In fact, actually, we might be able to get a look at the group.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and pull the groups up and kind of walk you through what we're chatting about here to give an idea. And again, they're still like catching up on matches, so not every team has played the same amount of matches. So you'll see their total. You know, Fnatic has played 3 out of 4. So you can kind of see how the points, how they rank up, as well as how their plus and minus for rounds work. That will be one of the tiebreak deciders if we get to that point, if we have any ties. But But again, you know, the next game out of this group is going to be NaVi takes on Vox. Yep. Right now, again, NiP is taking on Vox. So Vox is playing back-to-back right now on the Challenger stream. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing in this Group B when it comes up, and we'll show that next. We're going to do 2 back-to-back Envious matches, which will be really cool. Immunity and then Virtus Pro. Yeah,
and this is what we've wanted. I mean, like, for starters, my prediction was Envious were going to win this. And I'm the only guy out of the whole crew who's backed the French. So I'm really looking forward to see them play, engage, you know, just how good they're going to be. Very interesting point to make, and obviously we can definitely talk about this some more. Talking to Hastro in the hotel, he's talking about Envious's mindset, and apparently everything they're doing, it's like those little bands you get, you know, what would Jesus do? Their bands say, what would Fnatic do? They're so fixated on getting ahead of Fnatic that it's almost like they're basing everything they do, not about other teams, but about Fnatic. Now, on the one hand, you could argue that's actually a very intelligent way to approach the situation, because Fnatic are the best team in the world right now. They are the team that you're closest to. They are your closest rivals. Anything you can do to get the edge over them, very, very smart. But when you're not thinking about your other competitors, the other matches that you've got coming up, this is where little holes can appear. So very interested to see how Envious are going to perform against non-Fnatic teams, just in terms of preparation. Like, are they actually going to go into it raw? Are they just going to chance it and think we're good enough to beat these teams, but we've really overly prepared for Fnatic should we get to play them? So that could be a gamble, but still, the idea of playing Envious, who of course have, you know, won 2 games already in the group, really looking forward to seeing them play.
I mean, myself, I like to just go in raw, you know, let my performance dictate what happens. You know. Hope no one cries foul.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Well, again, we're going to be back with Envious versus Immunity. And again, on the second stream right now, it's actually tied up right now, 12-12.
Go on the Vox.
Vox and Ninja and Pajamas on the Challenger stream. So we'll be right back after a break, but go check that out right now.
I'm on it.
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 I'm on it.